2 o'clock, then what's turning out to be a pretty negative afternoon here. We had ECB's Lagarde come on and make some comments about inflation over in the European region that is still basically out of control, according to her, still higher than expected, still higher than they want it to be, with no sign or indication that it's coming down at all. So yeah, pretty harsh words coming from Christine Lagarde this afternoon. Here we go, S&P 1.8 right now. It is the S&P that's leading. We saw the Dow leading throughout the day to the upside, or trying to. 1.6 right now downside, 1.5 for the NASDAQ, 1.5 here in Toronto as well for the NASDAQ, 3.8% for Bitcoin this afternoon, 1.5 there for Ethereum. That's the way the board looks so far, pretty ugly right across the entire thing. Not much in the way of strength. Some of the hotels, some of the casinos, travel-related stocks still looking decent. Win 2.5% to the upside. Expedia's here. LVS is here as well in positive territory. We'll talk about Ford coming up, 11.9% to the downside. Moderna is positive 1.8%. Netflix still positive 0.9% in decent shape otherwise. The rest, though, yeah, a lot of negativity here. Real estate, materials, healthcare, tech, industrial stocks, all to the downside. Even banks under a lot of pressure. Industrials, Generac there, 7% leading the way. To the downside, worth noting, all the airlines, including some of the shipping companies, still to the downside as well. If you are looking at airlines, it's going to be AAL leading right now, 2.8% in negative territory. But the overall market, the story here this afternoon, as we continue to sink right across the board, heading into what is going to be an interesting day, to say the least, tomorrow as we get the Fed. I saw they started their meeting on time. That was a headline this afternoon, so good for them. They got together in a room on time when they were supposed to at 1 p.m. to talk about how much they're going to raise interest rates tomorrow. It's still about the same. Not much has changed. 18 versus 82% to the downside. Sean is here. It's just a wide shot. It's fine. Don't worry. You'll see on the TV when they switch. You guys can switch whenever you want. There he is. Sean is here. Hey. We're going to talk about some of the stuff we were dealing with this morning, including, I like this desk. It's nice, right? A little more elbow room, a little more. I like it. It's a better view, too, I think. Better angle. With the wingspan going on. Yeah, so we'll jump into what we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. Sean's here to lead the way, talking about one of his trades. And I mean, we're going to discuss big tech in general coming up here because it's been a little bit relatively weak today. But I mean, the whole market downside in a big way.
I feel like I'm pushing the down button on this thing here, but...
yeah, watch your heel.
All right, trade of the day. Do we have a little bumper, or we just go right into this?
Go for it.
All right, let's go into the trade of the day. Look, today was very, very frustrating a little bit for me in the morning because we traded that Microsoft long, and we really thought there was going to be a chance, and you could see right into here. This is the disappointing spot for me today for Microsoft. And I'm just going to expand the chart just a little bit here to show you what I was talking about. And I always talk about trying to be as patient as I possibly can be with Microsoft. Let me see. Oh, it's not sliding over. That's okay. Let me see if I can just do this one more time. No, that's fine. But the idea here, besides Microsoft, was getting involved a little bit too early in this name, right? So right into here, we were just starting to buy for absolutely no reason. The bottom of the market right down here was 241, right? And so that's what we had to wait for. Instead, once we broke out the top there on the pre-market, let me see if I can slide this over. Yeah, not having too much luck with that either. But, you know, just being able to see right now what's happening in Microsoft was it broke out through the top of 243. And then what happened when it broke through 243? It failed, and it just kept on coming back down. We got a little bit of a wick up to 243.40 or so. We didn't take anything out on the top side there. But the point is that once that failed, that 243, we should have had the ability to get out. And quite frankly, we did, but we didn't get out. And what wound up happening was, I did get out there at 242.75, so that was good. So we did get out of our first trade. But then look what I started to do here. And this is part of basically just not calming down and not regrouping, right? And I think that when you're looking at a trade of the day and when you're trying to especially make trades, and it has nothing to do with the trade of the day, but when you're trying to make trades early, you have to make sure that you wait for some levels. Like, I was just so frustrated that I started buying there. Like, why am I buying at 242.50? Why am I buying again and again and again all the way back down, as we need a way better solution than this keyboard as it comes all the way back down to the downside. So we just kept getting stopped out here all the way. Okay, there it is. We kept getting stopped out all the way back down until eventually we broke down through 242, right? But look at this trade, and this is why I want this to be the trade of the day. It's more analyzing what happened after all of this. So as the market comes all the way to the downside right now, you're seeing where we buy. Where do we buy? It's the same thing as where we bought on the break up. We bought when 243 broke to the high side up here. Then move down, over. All right, I'm not going to use the cursor anymore. As you're going to be able to see here, that bottom wick at 241, right? That's, Neil, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it, honestly. That 241 bottom, I'll try to do my best I can. Right there, that was the pre-market bottom. We waited for that, and then look at some of these outs on the way back up. You're seeing some in there, and you're seeing some again at 242.50. So instantly, we're making some money back in the ways of $1, $1.50. It's easy to get that money back, right? But then all of a sudden, we realized that Microsoft was weak. Look at the market in the bottom left, 1.37%. Look at Microsoft, 1.69. So all of these purples, instead of trading 243 right here to the upside, it starts to turn around to the downside. So as 243 starts coming back in, look what we do, short, and then look, cursor, down. Okay, you're just gonna have to trust me. The out, okay, down. We start getting out all the way down. I'm gonna throw something. We start getting out all the way down, and now it's just moving by itself, down to the downside there. We don't take a long again until right here, 241. Sorry about that, guys, but that 241 is our last in, and then we get out when it breaks 241. But the idea here behind Microsoft and why it's your trade of the day is because, A, there's lessons to be learned. The first lesson is don't get caught up in the beginning of the day trading in the middle. It's not at the high of the day, it's not at the low of the day, it's right in the middle. Why are we going long? That's the first part, right? The second part is have the ability to switch up your game. We went over and started shorting up here at 243 when that 243 came in. So we used the high of the day right there at 243.40 as our out. So as it starts pulling back in, we absorb some of those shorts, and then we're able to take it down there for about a $3.50 winner. So it's your trade of the day, and it's because we got carried away early, we focused, we made some big trades late. It's Microsoft, and I'm going to throw this keyboard.
You won't be the first. It's imperative in this type of a market to have a plan, and going into a day like today, going into a day like tomorrow, having a plan is so key, especially on stocks like this related to the market.
Yeah, no, I mean, I started the day, I was trying to be a bull a little bit, and I was talking about, then you brought the news about the 10-year breaking through 3.5. So I just feel like that sort of should have changed my idea, but I started wanting to go long.
Yeah.
And I think that once Microsoft failed, I should have regrouped, waited for lower bids to come in, and then hit the long instead of getting carried away in the middle there. So yeah, lesson to be learned. I'm happy with it. We're able to make some money back. And when I get back to my desk, we got some more bangers for you.
All right, we'll smash some keyboards after market tonight. You can take that with you if you want. There we go. That's the watch list, guys. We had all of this on there and more coming up, or had it in the pre-market. Make sure you're with us, not only tomorrow morning, but every morning in the pre-market. We get you set for the open with everything you need to know. It's just a simple email address. Use a QR code. Join the more than 30,000 now getting that for free every single day. Did I mention it's for free? Let's talk about a couple of key things here as we head into the afternoon. Basically at market day lows for the overall market. This is what I was mentioning before. ECB's Lagarde comes on and says, yeah, it's still bad. It's still very bad. Inflation is higher than expected and no sign of improvement as far as Europe is concerned. So more interest rate hikes to come. She's making these comments, obviously, before Fed Chair Powell comes out tomorrow. This is the first thing we'll discuss as well. Ford was top of the list, top of the watch list, top of everyone's mind this morning, and has kind of dragged down sentiment in general with this note this morning. $1 billion in unexpected costs coming for Ford because of cars that are essentially sitting in giant parking lots, unable to be sold because they can't get parts to finish them.
So just quickly before we get to Ford, this AMPX, which, okay, there it goes. It actually just failed to break out. It was breaking out the high of the day, this 1250. Pretty big level, I would like to say, but it couldn't seem to get past 13 just there, so I did just trail it out. No, it still has a chance to go. Like, it might be worth a 13 break when I go back and look at it because there's lots of room on AMPX. For anyone tracking that stock, pretty big level. Ford, it's going to be pretty easy to see. Yeah, I got in front of it. I said I'd be long at 1401, and I was long at 1401. But the downside to that trade, maybe I'll get off the 15-minute. It looks really fantastic for a level breakdown when you look at that 15-minute chart. But Ford, pretty thick levels. So a lot of times you want that scalp trade, or at least I like that scalp trade of the ones, twos, trying to just get like 10, 15 pennies. But I was in and out of that in, I want to say, less than 2 seconds. It might have even been 1 second long, like I got the long and then the stop just immediately triggered. But I didn't get the short until it fell down to the 85 and came back up. And then I shorted on the way back up. I ended up getting trailed out, which was terrible because if you looked at it, it only continued to the downside. But part of that was a little bit of bias. Like, I actually thought to myself, and I was saying out loud, that I felt like Ford would find a bid in the morning and then find some support and then maybe catch a little bit of a rally back into the upside. There was even a positive news from GM getting orders from Hertz. That didn't help Ford. Now it's down 12%, which I did not see coming, and $13 as a round number we could be contending with as the market's trying to bounce off these lows. So, you know, as much as I did take the short, and I can't, like, you can't complain about the fact that the short ended up being good, I don't love the way that I traded, and that came from the bias that I had in the stock to the downside, at least initially. And speaking of big levels, because I don't know if we're going to get to it, but Ford 13, how about if the market makes some fresh lows here, Google could be taking out or testing that 100.
Look, I want to, no, I'm at my desk, so we should have no more problems here. But look at this, Ford, it's the #1 name here on the sticky note today. Possible resistance at 14, turn it around, man. It was resistance, and then bang, or support, I guess, not resistance, that should be, say, support. At 14, there it is, man. It didn't get upside at all today, but there's the big bang to the downside right there. We did call that, and yeah, just what a good trade. Neil had the short after a reversal, so nice to see that, and there goes Ford. That's why, man. 113 likes on the sticky note, 30 retweets. Come back, man. It's at Trader TV Sean every single day. Look at some of these other levels we're talking about. PayPal, 90 long. We have a lot of stuff happening there. AMD, Amazon, the same short as before. So it's all worked out for us today. The only losing trade that I really have on all day is going to be that Microsoft trade. Do we have Netflix talking about that anytime soon? Well, I just tweeted out something, and this is where, you know, Prad tries to paint, but this is not paint. This is real, right? This Netflix went all the way up to $250. We just covered it for $6 right there, flat on that downside move. So we put the bid down here, and I just want to cover that because we're now out of it. Netflix, really a big move. And you want to talk about being patient? I mean, this to me is how I want to trade. I want to be able to, and I have a lot more examples as we keep running down through this rundown here today. This is how I want to trade moving forward. I want to be patient as possible. All my big losers are me just throwing money in and not waiting for key levels to break or blah, 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 or just keep trying the same thing over and over again. This is a pretty structured trade, man. Up here at 250, so we were actually short at 249.79. That's why this bid right here is 243.79. So we take exactly $6 when it comes right back into support here. I mean, I was thinking about that bottom of 243.25, but again, just right into there. I thought $6 would be pretty decent. It comes in and hits us. It does go down another 20 or 30 cents, but that's okay. We could have waited at 233.50 realistically and got that fill, but this is what we're waiting for. Look at the support. 250.50 was the resistance to the top side where we made that wick. So this trade had about 70 cents or so of risk to reward. So we take our first piece out for exactly 70 cents. Then we take the next piece out into support down here at 248, right? So that's $2. Then all of a sudden, boom, boom, we can see what happens to the market and we take that out for Netflix. So for me today, that's a chicken dinner winner right there for Netflix. And I'm pretty happy about that trade. And I want to base a lot of my trades like this. As we come down, you're going to see me talk the same way about PayPal and then the same way about Meta and AMD. But that's my Netflix trade. I don't have any Ford trades today, but it was the #1 name on the sticky note. I just got to follow my own stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, some of the automakers still, I mean, this AMPX still going so strong this afternoon. Some of the automakers getting dragged down with that today as well. It's worth mentioning, even though we talked about that note on GM, Kathy Wood getting involved with GM, also Hertz. on a deal. Here's Apple. We were discussing in the pre-market. They're going to raise prices over in Europe for the App Store. I mean, they do this every year pretty much. But worth a note, as Apple is and remains relatively strong versus the rest of big tech, which we'll also discuss.
If you wanted to be celebrating long today, Apple was the way to go. AMPX just went, like that 13 break was cleaner than the 1250. It just went to 14 on a dime. I trailed out of it because it got to 14 and it's already starting to reverse. Just be careful of a rug pull on this. Like it's at some point you could see it halt to the downside, just kind of the way that it trades. But if there's a kernel of strength in this market, there's a couple of them. Apple is going to lead the bunch. And one of the things that I love about a trending stock is it gives you multiple opportunities. I'm going to have some missing data on my chart here from the pre-market, but we don't need to see the pre-market. There was this 155 level, and then there was also some support that I like down at 154. So I did initially favor the breakout trade, and as I'm sitting in that breakout, looking at room, I thought to 158. I ended up covering at 157, but as there was room for it, it comes in for the dip buy of the morning range. And I didn't like anything else long. I didn't like too much long on that dip. I was actually sitting in some shorts at the time, and it's like, you know what? No, just take the dip buy, do the scalp trade, and then hold the breakout long up into that 57 area. Ended up having to like make some adjustments on order, so you'll see me accidentally short to get out of there and then getting in and out of the trade. Probably the only mistake on Apple was trying the long on the way back in when the market was flushing. It had one little bounce off this 156 level and then gave up VWAP, and then since then, I've been holding off there. If we can find a bottom here in the market, Apple is a place where you want to be long off this 155.5. Not a heck of a lot of strength, but for 2 days in a row, Apple has been leading big tech. I mean, Microsoft crushed lows. I don't know if we're going to even talk about Alphabet, but I almost feel like when Prad mentioned 100 on Alphabet, it's not that I didn't laugh, I didn't write it off, but I kind of didn't think we'd get there today. And it was probably at about, I think it was at about 102 or like 101.5. But at this point, yeah, it feels very real that we could see 100 on Alphabet at some point today with another push to the downside. Apple, nowhere near its lows. You got to understand relative strength and weakness. I know if the market can get itself going back off these bottoms, it's Apple that I want.
Yeah, I was just looking at that right now for Apple as well. Apple led the way yesterday with a huge day and fought against the market. And it's doing it one more time again here today. Like as if Apple's up 0.95% today in an absolutely destructed market here. So yeah, like still just keep buying it. Just keep buying it. And it's right here at a level that, again, like I said, I'd try to be more specific. So why not 155.50 right here? Like that's the bottom of 40s or 49s or no, sorry, 39s, 40s, right? So 155.40, why not just buy it? I don't even need to look at 20-minute charts or anything. I know the strength that Apple's shown over the last couple of days. Obviously, it's pulled back from where it was this morning, upside at that 158. I mean, I think we just kind of covered that, but you've just fallen back in right now. What about a break right here of 156 back to the upside? So I feel like there is some trades here available to us on Apple right now. Like a 156 break is pretty sweet. That high is like 156.10. So I'm thinking about buying the 156.10 break in case this market rallies back. We could have something on Apple. So 156.10, I like that for a break, and here it comes right now.
All right, PayPal next. Downgraded this morning from Susquehanna, talking about their Brainstem, I think it was called, division, where you can combine, or it has the capability of combining actual credit card payments with PayPal transactions. They were saying too much of the revenue coming from this and not enough coming from other parts of the business going forward. So PayPal was under pressure pre-market, guys. It was down about 2% to start the day.
And
there we go.
All right. Woosah, because there goes. Well, I mean, as I'm talking, I don't have my order out. Apple 156.10. I mean, I said that about, what, 15 seconds ago? It's only at 156.40 right now. Oh, my gosh. Something is obviously going to have to get thrown around here at some point. But oh, no, Apple. As if. Now I got to wait for this thing to fly back down. Oh, that was 30 cents, man. I could have needed that. The P&L would have needed that today for sure on Apple, right back up there. So we'll see if we can get it back to 156. I'm just going to put a bid down there if it comes back in. Oh, man, that sucks. I actually wanted the break, not this momentum coming back in on this one. But again, another name. We want to talk about PayPal. I mean, this one was well cooked off the open. Bang, right down there into 90 bucks. We targeted $90. I mean, it's on the sticky note. We talked about that. It is that. So we go from Ford, the number 1 name, to PayPal, the number 2 name. And we write down here, look for the floor at 90. That's exactly what we did. We put a bid right there and we let it run right into us. That's a 90.40. So we got a 90.40 bid. There's my last out right there, 92.50. So that's about $2. That's more than $2. $2.07 on the victory. This Apple is going to bug me. But we did take it out on the way up as it was ripping upside. We talked about this a little bit on our morning show. There's the 90.40 bid. Start taking some out in the 60s, then here in the 80s, then at 91.20, a bunch out here, 91.20, 91.30 as we bounced around for about 30 minutes. Then we took off to the upside. First out right there, 91.40. That's $1 right there, so we'll drop down some cash for PayPal. Then there's another $1 right there for PayPal again as it tanks back in. Then comes up and tests view up one more time. And then right there, Bob's your uncle on that trade. Okay, Apple. Meanwhile, your boy sits there and grabs Apple when it fades right back in right there to that 15 level. So there it is, in and back out. We only took 10 cents there on that. Okay, now Apple's really starting to go up to the upside. So a big win here for me on Apple. Let's just start to get some out. Yes, sir. Thank God. Boom for you live right there on the show. Take that Apple, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Let's go to the upside right now, Apple.
Yeah, just looking at the overall market because we got to see what's going on here. We just bounced about like 20, 30 points. We're coming in on that support level on the NASDAQ where you had it this morning. So I think we could see a little bit of resistance. Obviously, the trend's going to still be downside. I'm going to go back to the well, and as long as we're in this trend to the downside, I made the mistake this morning. We'll talk big tech, but I was shorting NVIDIA this morning, and NVIDIA was off highs. And once I recognized that, I just said go over to Intel because Intel's been a bit of a dog. It got all the way down to 28.70, shorting in front of 29. I'm going to look for the 29 on this bounce because on these pops, I still want to look toward fading it. It's all about that relative strength and weakness. And for me, this has been the weakest chip name that I can find. Maybe there's something else out there. But I'm going to jump into that short. I didn't take PayPal. I actually had Coinbase to the short side. But that's not necessarily a related play there. That was playing on the weakness that we saw this morning. A lot of these bounces have to do with big tech rallying. I just want to point out, are we going to get to, I guess we'll get to Google in a quick little bit there, but let's go down the line.
Yeah, we can jump down to Peloton here. Peloton was higher in the pre-market. Not a lot of volume. That was key number 1. I mean, we're down anyways overall, but it was up here in the pre-market on very, very light volume after they came out with their rowing machine. Finally, much anticipated. I saw somebody wrote that, much anticipated rowing machine. I'm not sure if it is, but downside we go with the overall market now, guys.
That's how someone said, does Sean know what is behind him? Yeah, Mark is up there doing
I actually
great
didn't know
amount of work. No, I just saw in the chat right now. And you guys are right, man. Like, I feel like that trade alone should get us to 1,000 likes right there. I mean, that Apple trade breaking through that 156.10, it came back in and we actually sat there at 156.15. I just put that order in right there. And now we're taking it out at the 200 period, for a decent winner right now. And I want to hold this. I think this market could blow to the upside right now. I'm actually at 55 to take out 10% of what I have left. Yeah, we have more than half of our initial position left, but we did have to take some out when it did rip up like that. It's, of course, now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about taking some more out. There it is. We'll take another piece out there. Oh, now it goes to 55. That's fine. Give me 55. Okay, so Peloton. Yeah, I mean, for me.
Short any pop.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I built the case earlier today, and I actually thought that them releasing a rowing machine was like a negative catalyst, to be honest with you, because now when they don't sell these very well, it's going to be more reason to put more fuel on the fire, basically. I mean, Peloton's in a world of hurt, man. It just keeps on going to the downside. I feel like I've built that case, and we did have bio rumors, and I know Brendan was talking about that. I built that case like at $30, $40 when I thought Peloton was down there, that a Lululemon, I mean, I specifically said Lululemon, and Nike, Apple, those kind of plays, like every time that comes out, it's not a surprise to me that, you know, that's who should be kicking the tires on this. But it's already so low that, I mean, even if they get a buyout, I mean, you're not really saving any accounts. I mean, unless for some reason you're loading up right now. I don't love Peloton down here at these levels. I'm not even sure it's really an investable name. You don't want to be investing in something just because you think that there might be a buyout rumor. It's one thing if you have information, which you're not supposed to have, about things like that. But honestly, I don't know, some people do, into a situation, it's like Kathy Wood yesterday, buys all the GM, and then you get that news about GM and Hertz, but GM's still down 4% today, so in your face on that one. But anyways, Peloton, I don't see any trades in this name, so I'm just gonna hold off. I wanna be short, so I think you fade pops, like I heard Neil say, and that's gonna be it for me until something changes with Peloton.
You can't hang a coat on a rowing machine.
You might be able to.
No, it's too low. You have to put the...
Oh, yeah, the monitor.
The monitor is high enough.
Okay, so I mean, okay, well, I stand corrected. Maybe you can figure a way to hang your coat on there. But like I'm saying that and kidding aside, I understand a lot of people that are passionate and love their Pelotons. It's just I don't know that what they're doing works right now and how they're going to be able to make it work. And that's a challenge. You never want a company to fail. There's no such thing as someone who should ever want a company to fail. I just don't get it. I'd short any pop this afternoon. There hasn't been one. Realistically, even with the market coming up, what has Peloton done? It's just sat on the low. So unfortunately, I don't think there's a there this afternoon for the trade. I want to just go back to AMPX because I thought it was just going to rug pull after failing 14, but it held 13 even. Well, it's attempting to hold 13 even. So there could be another leg to the upside on AMPX. I didn't really go over this. Hit enter twice and then it'll work for you. I didn't go over this on the higher time frame. It's only been trading that a couple of sessions. If we break out more from here, you know, you get past 15, there is room before I think 16, 17 where there's like a dump it, and for sure that could be the end of the line there and you'll get some profit taking. And people running to the exits are more heavy shorts. So it still has room to run. It's pretty early in its second break. The first break this morning was fantastic. The second break is of this consolidation here at 1250. And if it holds these highs, I mean, there's still room for it to go. Just be careful because when it does pull back, it can be very swift, right? Anyone who hasn't traded something like this, you know, understand that when it pulls back, I mean, if you don't have a trailing stop or a stop, you can sort of get caught with your pants down.
I'm not sure if that's the actual thing or if that's like a demo or something, but yeah, this is like prime hanging real estate here. It's not huge, but prime hanging real estate on the Peloton monitor, guys. Let's go to the rest of big tech here, because as we were saying, Apple was leading, everything else was kind of following along, but I don't know. Would you hang it on the monitor? I would.
Well, I mean, it depends what you're hanging. Like if you have a shirt with like a metal, you know, or like your jeans, you might not want to scratch the screen.
No, you don't want to
for resale purposes on that. But I think it looks nice. And like I said, there's no doubt it's going to be a high quality machine. I mean, it's just a matter of like, you know, will they sell them? It's $3,200.
That's the rub.
You need a few more Netflix trades to pay for that, but that's...
Yeah, but even if you still wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people have more money than brains, and I might be one of those guys. But
I know.
Yeah. Anyways, you don't.
Oh, no, but I know people. Look, like I said, I know people
that support
absolutely love their Peloton. So it kind of cuts both ways.
Brendan does spin classes, right? Brendan, not to throw you under the bus, but
100%.
You know,
but not on my own. That's the only difference.
Yeah, exactly.
In an actual gym.
Yeah. No. What I'm getting at, I know. But what I'm getting at is the fact of rowing machine. People like to do rowing machines. People like to do spin classes. Yeah. But then the benefit, of course, we talked about this earlier, being at the gym and physically with other people and competing or whatever. I mean, people like that. So, yeah, Peloton's a story of the past. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, really. Okay, big tech is weak. Yeah, big tech is pretty weak here today. And I think the biggest and the baddest of them all is going to be Google here again, down to that 100 mark. I mean, if you want to talk about going long on something, unfortunately, I was too busy, getting upset at the monitor over there and everything like that. But Google does come down here at 2 o'clock. Like, if you're not going long at $100.50, I mean, you know, right there, that's going to give you 50 cents worth of risk down to 100. I would think that would be good enough. But again, like to wait for 100, there's nothing wrong with that either. We talked about being more patient. Unfortunately, I do have this huge wick up right there now, so that's going to be a little frustrating. Let me pull down quickly here the chart on a 20-minute here. So here's Google. It's been really beat up lately. I've talked about this. I recently bought some at 105, so I'm underwater about 3.5% right now on that trade, which is completely fine. But here it is. Big move down on CPI, obviously. This is where I bought it off that CPI move, and then a little bit of a rally back. I think it was literally, it might be 104.50, but it's in this day here, the second day after CPI. And then now you're just all the way back down to the downside right now, trying to bounce off of 100, and I think it will. So there it is, $100. If you're gonna look at a daily chart for Google, here comes the daily, so let me move this up. Again, our daily's not going to be as good because we don't have the split adjusts in there. But here it is right here. We haven't even been this low before. The lowest we got before was 102. I have to pull this all the way back to see Google. But, you know, again, big tech leading the way to the downside. Look at this. This was back in, so a month ago, almost to the day, the stock was 122. So now you're down to 101. So that's a 20% move down in a month for Google. Like 20% for Google. Like I just feel like nothing has really changed with Google. So I like the name. I think you continue to buy this down here at $100. And the closer it gets there, the more shares you should use. But I think it's the same trade. You go long as we approach back down, and you may get that chance again here today. The NASDAQ just bounced quite heavily, actually, off of that bottom there, 11,830. It almost bounced. It bounced 80 points up to 11.9 again. Maybe we retest those bottoms. I want to be here to buy some Goog.
Goog. So if we get to 100, I was sort of the line of wait for it because I feel like we're in a bit of a downward trend going into Fed. So I always tell myself if you like a dip buy in something and the market is trending to the downside, be a little bit picky about the price you get. But it's already given you that bounce. So if it comes down a second time, I would definitely be waiting the second time through. As a matter of fact, when I look at the 15, I think any curl here in the market does give Google a bit of a short around this 101.50. You sort of look at it, VWAP, it was the morning support. Ooh, I got to get rid of that wick to 108. And then you had some resistance already in here at 101.50 before we rolled over just past midday. So it does set up pretty nicely here. You're risking about 20 cents for that short. We are pretty much done the run. And I already talked about Intel. I'm going to be shorting pops in the 29 on Intel, but I didn't go over NVIDIA. It ended up working out, but this was the point at which when I was kind of fighting shorting 33.5 on NVIDIA, and it just wasn't working out. I get some scalp wins, and then I'm like, no, it's pretty strong. And then I just stopped at 10:30 and went over to Intel, and Intel trending toward the low of the day. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Like you can say, oh, this chip name is weak, or the sector is weak, or the market's coming down. But if you're in the wrong name and it's strong that day, nothing you can do about it. NVIDIA actually had some positive news. Intel has been in a strong downward trend. Eventually, NVIDIA would have worked, but we're past that. And we don't have CCL up there. But Carnival, in the face of Wynn and all of these travel names, wow, in the face of these travel names going to the upside all day long, Carnival has been rejecting this 11 to 11.30 on the daily pretty consistently. And then today was more or less the same thing. It tried to get to that 11 high, failed the high at 11, consolidate the short at about 10.80 at lunchtime, and it's just been dropping like an absolute rock. As a matter of fact, I can get on the bid because it's at this low from, I guess, mid last week. Well, I mean, it's not going to get 10s, but I can get on here at 10.41. It's at this low that you had this big jump off here on the 15th. So I'd expect that if we do make a fresh low, this consolidation is where the trail is going to have to be. I was always looking for re-entries into the stock, and it never really bounced. So Carnival rejects that high. And sometimes you can look at a level like this in the daily, and my first thought is, ooh, that's going to be a great breakout. But you know what? If a big monster resistance level never breaks, then your play is actually, as a day trader, to short it. Like that's the only thing you can do with it because it's not going to break out and it's going to go the other way. And that's what's happening in Carnival. Google, I'm going to see if I can't get into this now because it looks like it's starting to break back to the downside. Give it up to VWAP if I can catch it. But the shorts seem to be in this afternoon. If there's any bounces, I mean, Apple's about your only... Like, it's still up on the day. Like, what else? I don't know. Well, Netflix is, I don't know if Netflix is still green on the session. I know it's pulled back a bit, but Apple, the only big tech name, let's say. that's still to the upside.
Yeah, Netflix down 0.2.
So it is red
right now.
See,
yeah,
there's
so
nothing
that
left.
is-
It's
I
only
mean, I'm
Apple.
trying to look here to see if there's anything. Yeah,
Meta?
Apple. No, nothing really, man. No, yeah, nothing. mRNA. Oh, our boy Veru is up today, up 0.43%. 0.43%.
I don't mean to laugh.
And then everyone's favorite stock, Blue, is up as well. So a couple names that are up right now. Okay, all right, so we were out of a little bit more than half of our Apple, but then now obviously it's starting to drip back down into that level. This is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So, you buy that on that break. We talked about that, get some out. I mean, it went right up to the 200 period right there. We able to get it out even against this resistance right there as well. So that came through. Then we just averaged in at VWAP right here we actually got 82s or something, but VWAP's 85, doesn't matter, same price. I'm gonna try this one more time. We'll put on a decent position if it comes back down, and if we lose, we wind up losing. I want to try to buy this in here around 60, using it against this 40. So, again, we'll see what my average price is going to be. It'll probably be like, by the time we're done this, it'll probably be like 70, 75, 76, something like that, or maybe a little bit higher, maybe 80. So down here, 40 cents worth of risk to get out on the average position, I think is going to be worth it for me, especially if we do get that pullback, right up here to the 50 period. We can get that move. So let's wait to see. A little bit lower, we'll take some shares. I'm okay if I miss this bottom. Like Neil said, the trend is quite clearly not in bull's favor here as it's come all the way back down. So we're gonna have to watch out for some of these levels here in the NASDAQ, including 11,800, which I'll be out of the Apple trade if it gets down there, but every 100 points seems to be something, right? There's 12,000 again this morning. That's the high. It got to 12,017, right? Wow. And then right into here, 900. Look at this. This was 11,900 was right here where we supported it again, right? And then you come back in, it breaks the 900 right here, and then just rifles down basically 50 handles all the way to the downside, then keeps on going and only gets to 11,830. So if we're gonna play that game where it's back and forth at some of these even levels, then the next move should be maybe, I'm hoping, for a retracement back to 11,900, because we didn't continue on to 11,800. So we're gonna watch out for that level down there. If 11,800 breaks, we'll be out of this Apple trade anyways. But for now, it's just kind of a slippery slope here on the NASDAQ that, stand in front of a falling sword if you want to. I'm going to try to pick the best names, and that's why I'm long Apple right now. But
so
who knows?
My only thing is if Apple holds that support around, it's like 155, 40 to 50. Like if it holds that while the market breaks the low, I'm going to adhere to the stop on the consolidation. I had just gotten rid of this one. I swear I got rid of this wick on the Google chart. I'll try on the Alphabet chart. I'll try it again because the chart's going to be pretty garbage to read with it in there. But I am now short off this consolidation. I'm going to get some in front of 101, and then the current low is 150. I'll get the rest out there because if it gets to 100, I think that's going to be like a separate trade on its own, bouncing off that 100 level potentially. So we'll work that one. Apple's, I can't find anything else that I like to the long side other than Apple, but I did want to go back to AMPX there. And if there's any other small caps that you guys see running that are out there that maybe are worth paying attention to, certainly let us know. We're not going to be able to cover everything in the market, but if it's moving, I want to know about it, obviously. But it rejected that high at 14 again, put in a bit of a death candle. Not a lot of strength off that 13. Like you'll see, it kept breaking 13, try to hold above, and each test did actually break 13. No buyers really stepping up in that range. So I think you have to look for VWAP. It's not completely falling apart. No halt down, nothing like that, but it is sort of running out of, potentially running out of steam. And I'd like to see if VWAP can hold up. It broke out at 1150. I'm pretty sure Sharif was all over that trade. And we had several longs on the way to the upside. I want to say 1150 was good. So I think that would be the next spot that I would like it to at least try that long over there in AMPX. Any other small caps, let us know about them. I see MGAM. I remember it's like a mobile E
Something.
Mobile E gaming, or I have to hit enter twice every time I pull up a new symbol. It's weird. Mobile esport gaming or something along those lines. Either way, this has been pretty strong. If it gets to $3, and this is, I should probably already be long. This is a great level. It's $3 actually. Now that I look about it, but you're really just scalping it for 15 to 20 cents here. The volume's good. 20 million is nothing to sneeze at. So you can be scalping this. And a lot of times for runners like this, I'm always looking for like the break the high, get that 10, 15% kind of move or more. And this has been going to sleep. That said, with a decent level of support at $3, it's probably worth it to just be in front of VWAP here and start scalping this thing because there's not that many games in town. Apple's great. We'll see if Google's going to make that run that we think, obviously if the market goes down, Alphabet and 100 is a collision course that we want to be involved in. So we're going to be all over that one. We didn't mention Amazon, at least I don't think. Probably the only big cap name that didn't get mentioned. Like the rest, sitting on lows. Crazy wicks to the upside there, but it has not yet broken through the bottom on Friday. So that's like 120 and change. Some of these levels, we start breaking down, it gets pretty ugly, and you want to only be holding to your shorts.
Yeah, no, I was just looking to see if there's any other opportunities here. So we did average into Apple. Obviously, we talked about that coming down into 60 there. I actually didn't get the full fill. It didn't even print 60s. So unfortunately, I just had to mark it up a little bit, and not mark it up, I just bid 64s and got them, but it wasn't the full position. So my average price right now is 92 in here. So if it does come back down, I do want to be here to grab some of that. So, I just realized I had a 156 offer out for Apple. Okay, here comes Apple right back in as the market's going to break. I mean, Apple right now is actually acting pretty weak. Although it is strong today, it's not doing anything different than the market. If anything, it's maybe even falling even more than the market right now. So I feel like I got to be careful with this trade. I have my dedicated out, and if you're going to learn, about trading and you want to take advice from us, I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Is finding these levels where you're wrong. I mean, it's quite frankly, that's the case. And I think, that's where maybe I can do a better job now of talking about Microsoft. Like this is the part that I'm only red on one name. Like yeah, that's right. So, out of all of these names that we've traded today, like it's this Microsoft that we took out 143 there. I like that trade, right? Breaking through the top. If we get a rally day, I was a bull this morning until Brendan told us about the 10-year, which is a great piece of a great tool there. Maybe we can talk about that after. But there's the 243 break. I liked it. I was bullish. It was about 9. From what I can see here is about 947, that break, so I was happy with it. It made some bottoms, we're starting to rip up. But then when it failed and I got out right there for 30 cents hit, that should have been the stop. But then if you could see in here, and maybe I can zoom in a little bit more, but I just start buying uselessly in here, and that's the problem. And then we just got caught. So as it came back down right now, we're gonna have to wait on this, but what is up, Brendo?
Yeah, I can give you guys an update here on this thing, because good timing. It's ripping back to the upside. Currently, we had a bit of a pullback off of that 360. This is where we got to early on this morning. Back to the downside we go throughout the morning session, but bouncing right now. So 360 and change was the high on the 10-year this morning. Here's the 2-year meanwhile. The 2-year's at 4, by the way, going into tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see what happens after Mr. Powell speaks.
Telling you a little bit of a story, and so and in the chat there it was Doma Sin. I don't know. Apologies for the name there, but you know who you are. Mentioning the Dow at 30.5, right? Like we don't really look at the Dow. I don't know many people that are traders that care too much about the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 are what usually matter to us. But psychologically, in terms of a key price area, if we break 30,000 on the Dow, it's not insignificant. And if we do accelerate through there, you could see some downside. Of course, right after I said MGAM was in the middle of a range, let's just sit on the bottom of that. It decides to break out of said range, gets to 350. So now I kind of like the dip back into the 3/4. If I was going to go long 3 into 325, then when it rejects 350, I want to look at that 3/4 for the pullback. If you just 15-minute chart doesn't work. There we go. Starting to load up there. There is some consolidation the last time it was trading in this range. So it had support around 320, and then it had some challenge getting past about 380. I was mostly trading this when it was above these prices at about $4, if that ever fills in. And then there you go. Like, if you're going to be long something, be long Apple. Got to go back to the 15. That just bounced off that support. It's back above VWAP, back above 156, continuing to run to the upside there, guys. So this is where you want to be long. Like Google is still actually in the money still to short as Apple's bouncing up because relative strength, relative weakness. As a day trader, if you're going to play it that way, you have to make sure you short the weak names, you go long the strong names. It seems simple, but trust me, it's not always so easy.
And there it is, man. Let's go right now. I mean, there it is. Like, again, like I'm talking about, you might think we're painting these fills, but we ain't, man. We're here taking these fills for you super and chat. Everything. We have a monster super chat into our boy. Thank you so much. Maybe a female, I have no idea, but shout out to all the dads out there. You're awesome. So I'm going to assume that you are as well a dad. Thank you so much, Comp SRX1. Thanks for that 250. And yeah, we will publicly shout out. Let's go, Apple, right now. Drop down that cash as Apple is Rip City. Let's go. This is a big trade for me, man. Right now, we talked about that. So there goes Apple to the high side. Yeah, buddy, we're here, man. This is what we're doing. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. I mean, how these bangers that have happened here today, just absolutely monstrous. But thank you so much again for that 250. That means a hell of a lot. Shout out to all the dads out there, man. I feel like, I mean, I'm blessed with my family. I feel like every day is Father's Day. So thank you so much to everybody out there. But there it is again, man. We don't stop, man. There's Apple. We talked about that. Get the stronger names. 1%, 1.8 against it. So yeah, definitely stronger. Buy these dips in there. Buy that break. Get out. Let it fall back right in to support again. Bang that one out to the top side right here. 70 cents in the money. And you know what? Let's take a 28. There it is right there. Ring the Reggie on a 70-cent winner. And we're still holding this, man. We still have half of this position as Apple to the moon. And here we go. Let's do one of these. I don't know if it's going to the moon or not, but I'd like it to. Nice little move here into what should be a great day for Fed tomorrow. We have an hour and a bit left. Let's keep this train going.
Yeah, exactly. This is a freight train to that upside. I still like a couple of shorts here. We're going to get into resistance on the NASDAQ. So at about, right now at 11.9. So Apple has a chance to chew through. I want to hold through to see if it gets that break. And then for something like a Google, it's right back in this wick. Every time I try to get rid of it, I apologize for that. I can't do anything about it. It just pops right back in, that dark pool print. So if it gets past 101.60, then I want out of Google. Intel is a little bit weaker, but when the market climbs up, you do not want to get trapped in the bottom. Right, so you always have to have an out. We get past that 60 and I'm out of Google. If I was going 1-to-1 or slightly better than 1-to-1 with my first out, then I want to make sure I'm maintaining that risk to reward. No need to get trapped. The long wants to work. We know where it's going to be good. Going to go back over to Intel here. It's still at that 29 level. If this lever paint back in. So it has not broken the recent resistance here. If we get back below, then I'll consider adding back to these shares. But if we break that 29.10, got to get out of Dodge. Even Intel, which has been relatively weak, starting to find a bit of a bid. No worries when it comes to something like CCL. That's still trending down towards the bottom. It just bounced a little bit off of 40s into 50s, but I already have a trail. If CCL were to break 10.55, then I'm out of CCL. I don't think we'll see the prices we had before. I don't need to bid 10 anymore. That's not happening on CCL, but this one trending back into the downside, and my charts are not really cooperating. I don't know. I think it started with the trade of the day, Sean. Now I have not, look at my morning. It's like, okay, in air. It didn't trade till noon.
Yeah, no, I think that's a charting issue. The trade of the day was it
was different. It was
a Bluetooth issue as we tried to get cute there with that Bluetooth, and that was an epic fail. But that's okay. I mean, we tried it, and it tried to work out. That's all good. All right, right there, it just went up to. I didn't even. Unfortunately, I did not notice this because I was looking for other opportunities, but Apple just went right back to that 200 period. So as I come back, I will not lose, but I'll give up about 10 cents or so because that was 55. We're now at 40, 45. So I'm going to take out another piece right now that I noticed that. So here we go. Let's go to the upside. I'm also sitting at 48. We are only now into 30% of this trade as we just took a bunch out right here. I mean, same levels. Let's just do that again, man. Thank you. Come again. on this trade. So we're going to see if that can work out for us one more time here on Apple. But so far, so good there as it just ripped up to, again, another area of resistance. So far, so good on that name here for me on AAPL. Oh, we just got a 48. I was like, what just happened there? We just got a 48. Man, we are back. We are back in this thing right now. It's been a big trade for me here today on this Apple. I mean, also look at this Netflix trade that we had on board as well, up to 250, all the way down $6 clean on that trade. The only problem with AMD, again, look what we did on AMD. I said that we would talk about patience, right? It comes all the way down to 75. We actually take that long and run, actually that's 74.90 because we found a bottom there. So as soon as that happened, we took this to the upside. It does break and we lose 10 cents on whatever we had left here, probably 20 or 30%, but there's the bid there, 74.90, and there's the out. So being patient on both ends of this game works. My number one stock and the number one stock net-wise here on the show is Meta today. And again, like look at this name. Comes right back into 147. We buy again, then we buy again, then we bought it again right there. The only trade we lost was this in and out, which was a mistake there on Meta. So 145.60 there, out at, no, actually that wasn't a mistake. That's 145.65, out 145.50 on that last bid. But again, wait, look what we're waiting for. We're waiting for this bottom to come through. Came through, we sat there, it just broke on us. That's all. Apple didn't break. So this broke on us, but we did absorb that. Look at this, 145.70, that fill is 146.50. So that's 90 cents there. 80 cents there on the upside. Then we reload it comes back, and we lose 10 cents. So, you know, that's, to me, this is how I want to trade. It's always nice when it works out. But again, Meta, like I said, the number one name here on the show. As Apple continues to go, let's see where we can go, man. Did you catch any of those? Oh, yeah, you're long Apple, too. Okay, great. So we're both long Apple.
The only stock that I think pretty much all day long there's been long opportunities, that's a big cap. I should always preface it by saying big cap. There's been runners elsewhere, but Apple's been the only one you can lean into. Like Tesla was good in the morning, but it's at the lows of the day as well. That being said, as I haven't looked at Tesla since it failed that breakout, and I took the 310 long break and didn't really hold it long enough, but 306 down here has found some good support. I mean, that's a way better bottom than I think I'm giving Tesla credit for. So we get down here, I'm gonna go long off these lows here in Tesla as the market, it feels like the market's made a bit of a temporary bottom. We usually expect going into the Fed, you get a bit of an inside kind of day. So you don't think you'll fall into infinity or into the abyss. So I'm expecting that we're going to catch some of these bids. And anything that has a solid level like this, I'll go for it on Tesla here. I do want to come back over to, I think it was Veru that Brendan was just talking about, trying to go. Hey, Veru's green on the day. Why not? It broke out this morning, 1175. It's back above VWAP. Volume starting to tick up here. This is another small cap that has a chance to get going. It already got to 1250, so I'm not sure it gets back to the high. But hey, if you get along with like 1170 as your backstop here, you can risk 10 cents, and then it doesn't need to go that far for you to get a good winner. So I'm gonna pop on the bid here in front of VWAP on Veru, because you want something that's moving. This definitely qualifies that got going. So thanks, Bren, for throwing that one in our chat. As there are a few names out there that are making some runs.
All right. Oh, great. More baseball. Now my daughter is going to be trying to play rep in Little League. Oh, great. Hockey starts this weekend as well. And again, a big.
Oh, hockey. I got to shout.
Yeah. Hockey shouts out this weekend as well. Yeah, and again, another big shout out. Thank you to all the dads out there, and thank you to Comp SRX1, man. Thank you for the big super chat. Means a lot to us. And just thank you for the support. And I wish you the best of trading, and shout out to your family as well, man. I mean, that's what we're all about here, building family, building relationships, and teaching trading so that we can all hopefully, better our opportunities and those for our family. I mean, that's what I trade because I love it, but ultimately, I mean, I work for my family, so that's what that is right there. But nice little upside move there for Apple coming back in, and I'm just trying to get lighter, right? Like right now, I have about a quarter, maybe a little bit less than that left on board here, as it just, we got those fills. Like we got the fills that we wanted. It came up here, we got those 50s, so that started taking us out. So all good on that front, man. As Apple, right now, I'm here for it, man. Pull back. I actually want this name to pull back. I don't have that many shares. I will get a little bit lighter coming up soon here. But yeah, nice little move upside for Apple. Let's just keep this party going into the close. There's still an hour left. This market could still fall dramatically. So So let's not rest too much on some of these longs.
Yeah, I mean, if the market falls, I think Intel falls, like I said, so I'm going to be holding on to that one. But I did want to shout today because you mentioned hockey,
Yep.
and on a personal level,
Yep.
PK Subban announced his retirement today. So if you're not a hockey fan, maybe don't know who he is. Fantastic player, great person, great family. And what I think is, you do something that you love and you never work a day in your life, right? Not everyone's dream, yeah, I want to be a professional athlete, right? Some people get a chance to do that, and then even some point you got to step away. But I find, and personally speaking, like trading is about as close to being a pro athlete as you're going to get in terms of the feeling of it. And not that I've been a pro athlete, but every day is game day, meaning you come in, the market has the same rules, you're looking at the same things, but you never know what to expect. It's like LeBron goes to go play basketball, or PK gets to go play hockey. The rules are always the same. You're playing the same types of opponents, and it's still a game of hockey or basketball. But you really don't know what to expect, and every game and every day is different. That's what's cool about trading. And in sports, you also get a sense of, hey, you score a goal, you score a goal. You have a good shift, you have a good shift. You see the impact of that. It's the same thing with trading. That's why it's easy to love it so much. That being said, like athletics, it is difficult to do alone. Even if you're in an individual sport, you got a coach, you got a trainer, you have mentors, you have team. Like everybody has trouble doing it alone. I don't know anybody that does any kind of athletic endeavor and does it alone. That's what the community is all about here. So I just wanted to say that. And like I said, I'm personally shouting out PK because I love the kid, and his family was good to me when I was young as well. His pops is a great dude. I keep wanting to show you guys Google and this resistance, but I am now completely unable to get rid of this wick because it doesn't want to go away. But suffice to say, as long as we're holding below VWAP, I'll continue to try to short these pops in Google and in Intel. But at some point, if we break out, there's going to be some reversal opportunities here. If the market decides it wants to go big time reverse off these bottoms, then names like Google could be reversals. I probably wouldn't reverse long in Intel, but Google I think I would if we get past VWAP.
Yeah, I should have probably gone long again on Apple because we did test that 156 area again on Apple, and then here comes the bump right back up again, and there it is. I mean, let's just let's just spin it, man. I mean, that's what it is. It's all about that. So, great trading here happening. That's another, we just took, I'm spinning the money thing, but that's just like $1 there on Apple. I mean, that's not the easiest trade to make, but Apple today's been pretty good here. And again, patience definitely paying. Let's look at some other names if there's anything else you guys want us to look at here. Please hit the like button, first of all. And again, thank you so much for that super chat that's sitting up there for sure. But you know who might have a name for us? Brendo. What's up, Brendo?
At Cassava Sciences, guys, trying to get back to day highs here. We got up to 34.5 early on, but a decent amount of volume coming back in, up 12.5%. There was an SEC ruling. If you remember about a month ago, there was a note on some possible data manipulation that came out on one of their studies. So the SEC was looking into that, and there was a note that came out from the SEC today suggesting the all clear has been given. So that was being circulated earlier. So big move up for Sava today.
Yeah, look, I always tend to lean towards fading Cassava Sciences, but it's a tricky one. You never want to stand in front of that. I'm still on Veru because I'm it's starting to pull back a little bit, so I think this could be where I get a bit of a dip into VWAP on it. But Sava, it didn't quite get to 35, and that's probably the only reason I didn't take this when it got to, I mean short. I didn't take it when it got to noon. If we test back up to 35 in the afternoon, I think it's worth a bit of a fade. Just looking at the daily chart, this is what 35 looks like. If it breaks out from there, sure, it's got some room. Maybe it breaks out tomorrow, I don't know. And we could be looking at Cassava Sciences 35 break. But until we break through that, we get toward the high, I'll favor the short in front of it. That's just usually the way that I prefer playing a resistance level. Great if it breaks, otherwise anticipate the stock will find sellers, which it's already done time and time again through that price. And I know where I'm wrong. It breaks 35 and the short's wrong, and I can get out of it. So always knowing where you're wrong is an easier way to start a trade. Like Google here, breaks 101.60, I'm out of Google to the short side. If Apple breaks, it's about 155.40 or so, then I'm out of Apple as well. If Intel breaks 29.10, then I'm out of that name. If Veru were to get down, I'm not into Veru just yet, but I'm going to be on the bid here in front of VWAP. If it takes out 1165, 1150, probably 1165, closer to that 70, then I'll just get out of that on the dip buy in. You have to have an out before you get into a trade. Otherwise, when it starts going against you, you're just going to sort of sit there staring at it.
And yeah, that is exactly right. I'm trying to not stare at this trade right now because Microsoft, I'm taking that short against that level again right now. So even though I am long on Apple, obviously we've just talked about that until we can't no more, but I'm almost out of the Apple trade. It's just right now, if you see Microsoft, it's bouncing off of this level again right here. So we did take it and got out there, but look where VWAP is, 70s. So I don't know why we triggered there. We should not have triggered, but we did get short. Now we're just back into this short against this level. So right now I'm short 59ers, and I'm gonna get out on a 70 break. So it's about 11 or so cents worth of risk to the downside. So the first out for me will be in those, I don't know, the market right now is testing these, not these highs, but trying to break through here. We're bouncing off 11. Remember when we were down here, first of all? I mean, you know, all this talk is great, but like when we were down here, I said the next look is probably 1900, and that's where 11.9, that's basically where we went right back into it. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself there on some of these calls, but there goes Microsoft back down. So now we're at that 1-to-1 risk to reward. If it fails now, you know, that's fine. On that note, I'm going to get out of some Apple just in case the market does tank back in, which would be fantastic for me if that does happen. Microsoft's been a very, very tough trade for me today. It is the name that I'm red on, and I've talked about that. And so this is the thing, like, don't have a problem being honest. Like Microsoft is, wow, this is actually, now that I see this name, and I mean, it's funny because I say that and I've been watching it all day, but wow, look at this thing. It just wipes levels out when it wants to go softy. Maybe softy does want to get back up here to the upside. So I'm gonna have to edit this script order here. There we go, I was gonna say, because I don't want to get punched long, and that's exactly what just happened there. So we'll have to offer, oh God, now we'll have to offer these out because we did take too many shares long right there on that break, but so far it's fine and whatever. That sucked, but right there. So we did take a little bit of profit, and then we're out again on that break. We just got wicked to the top there, 71. But yeah, that was really aggressive to the long side. So yeah, maybe going short Microsoft and adding to the worst stock of mine today is not a fantastic idea. Meanwhile, there we go. It's a big move, man, here for Apple. Apple just continues its move up. So I mean, I'm glad we're out of that softy. We don't have to worry about it. But there goes Apple, just took out again another level there. It just broke through the 50 period and stopped. All these moves are like followed by some wicks. So it's like they want to go and then they're like, nah, maybe we don't. And then it comes right back in. So that's kind of like what's happening right now a little bit on softy. Just wicked to 80 there and then dropped to 50 again. So, I mean, these are names I want to stay away from. Look at Apple. Now $1.20 in the money. Oh, we never have enough shares on board, but that's how we trade, man. We get out when we're scalping it through. There goes Microsoft just breaking higher right now on softy. So a good long if anybody had. I mean, I guess I should have just switched over to the long. We're above on the 50 period. I just didn't trust it, but there goes Microsoft. A beautiful move to the upside here for softy. If we're going to short it, it's going to have to be at that same level again, man, 243. Other than that, I'm going to wait for that as the market is just taking off. I do not like the shorts here.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. Like we're about 5 cents away on Google. I'm probably not going to give up on Intel because it's so weak. Intel's actually flat right now. I'm short 99. It's at 99. It kind of stands out like that. But Google for sure, 101.60. I'm going to be getting out of this, and I know the chart's not going to look that great. I apologize. It kind of sucks. Like it looks like it's not moving. Trust me. Like Google just bounced pretty significantly off that 101 level and is trying to creep through VWAP. So it's not like nothing is happening. Google is making some moves into the upside here. I think it has a chance to make a reversal and maybe head back. If the market wants to make a big bounce, then I could see Alphabet at least testing 102, if not trying to make a little bit of a breakout from that level. Tesla was the other one. I did start into Veru, by the way. Tesla, we can forget about the dip buy at this point. Tesla looks like it wants to reclaim that 310, which was a good breakout earlier, but I'm not chasing the breakout in Tesla. I think it has to hold a bit above 310 before I get involved in this one. I'd rather play the pullback game. Like Sean said, there's like wick tops on all these moves, and then you get these little dips back in. So I think we can be patient before I would chase Tesla per se. Brendo?
There was that note we were talking about a little bit this morning from JP Morgan, guys, on the LIDAR group in the pre-market that came out. It was very, very positive. They specifically pulled out Luminar, which is LAZR. Here's Microvision, though, MVIS starting to get going here. Back 2-day highs, up 2.8 itself.
It's actually amazing that like once these stocks start to go, man, I mean, there's really like nothing standing in their way. It's like, it's crazy. They'll just go, and then it's like, boom, see you later. Whoa, Microsoft just went to 242.25. Okay, that's a good level. I'm still waiting in here, man. 242.50, 242.60, something like that. That's where I actually want to get out if I'm wrong. I was hoping to short it into this area here, like 242.60, and then if it breaks right here into this support, then we'll let it float back up. But okay, there goes the move back down here now for Microsoft, failing off of that wick top. So that's another scan maybe to look for some of these wick tops like that, because that was a nice little short there if anybody was into softy. I tried to short right here, like we talked about. Really no damage done. I mean, we did take damage, but nothing big on that trade. Apple's pushing back. I don't really want to talk too much about that. Google's at 101.50 again, so it just made a 52-week low of $100, 94 cents on Google. So now that's fading out a little bit as well here. I feel like that's going to be I mean, where's the short on that? Yeah, I mean, that has to, I feel like this has to go to 102, and I know Neil's already talked about that wick, but that's where VWAP is 101.60. So these wicks are like 101.65. I think it needs to get a little higher than that for me to go short. I just don't want to step in front of this. We do have a big day tomorrow, so excuse me as I chug some water. But Netflix, you know what might be the good long right now that I look at that, is going to be maybe Netflix, because it's still not really getting off now, off that bottom. So, Netflix is still hovering around here. You do have the 50 period. Typically, I'd like to see it break 245 right now for Netflix. So if that can happen, I like that trade to the long side, but it has to break, and then you have to take enough shares that your out might be this. I mean, look at this. Just respect this period all the way down, the 50 period, right? So right now, the 50 period is right here at 244. So if we take 245, don't take as many shares as you can hold it to lose $1 in case that does come back down in. So right there on Netflix. I realize Apple's falling back down here. Nothing I could do. I'm out. Like, I have 5% of the trade. So I'm already out of this. I was out the majority. That's why I wasn't too excited. I was out the majority right there at the 50 period, at the 200 period and past resistance. So that's where we're out. We'll hold it to see if we can get another long in Apple.
Yeah, and sort of speaking about the markets here, like I'm watching the NASDAQ, and someone put in the chat, and it was a pretty good point, that every single time the market bounces into like a resistance level, it just rejects it. And you can look at individual stocks too, which is what we're obviously doing, but it's the same thing. The market's doing it as well. So you find that relatively weak name. I got off the Google train because ultimately it held a pretty key level. It's trending a little bit better than Intel, which is why I'll stick with Intel. But it's like, we get that wick top and you reject it. You want to make sure that if you had a short thesis, you want to be getting your short as long as it's not breaking that resistance, and then work it back into the downside. So getting away from Google is one step, but the other step is trying to find some other ones to the short side of the trade. I'm not talking about Veru. I'm still looking for other names that I like for shorts. Peloton's not giving you that part where it bounces to be able to short it. Otherwise, I think that could be something I like. But if it's not going to move, I don't want to trade it. Veru now bouncing off of VWAP, so I am now in at 85s. I'll take some out at about 12 on the way up to like 12 quarters. I don't need it breaking the high of the day. I'm not sure it has that much juice left in it anyways, but I wanted something that was at least bouncing. And if you went over to that MGAM, I still like this for the dip buy. It's starting to come back in now, but it kind of made another leg to the upside before coming back in here. And I want to be a little bit cautious because I didn't get this consolidation. It wasn't quite in the range that I wanted. So I'd like to see it consolidate again, grab the long inside the consolidation, throw my stop beneath that 330, and then sort of see if we can run this one to the upside. But for now, I want to be patient with MGAM. It's power hour. Any trade we get into, we got to be out at the end of the day. So, it's not like MGAM can run tomorrow and I can benefit from it unless I put a trade on tomorrow. So I want to be careful and patient with the entry here on MGAM.
MGAM, yeah, that's a funny name.
Mobile esports.
Yeah, mobile, whatever. Yeah, that's a funny one there. MGAM for sure. All right, so let's just get this party started here again with some of these trades, man. I mean, Apple there looking for new ones. JP Morgan, the banks. not doing well. I mean, in rising rates, normally you would think their net interest margin, would be better on that. But now JP Morgan down to 115 again here, and 114's right there as the bottom. It's kind of stuck in a range again, these banks. I almost feel like I want to get out of some of these banks. I started buying this, I believe it was right around here. And then we actually bought a little bit higher as well. But some of these names have really fallen back in. JP Morgan, one of them. Morgan Stanley, I think might be one of the better. Why do I always think that's NASDAQ? I don't know why I always do that, but I always do. Morgan Stanley again into New York, down to, they're both down the same, but as you can see on a daily chart, it's not really near the bottoms, like a JP Morgan is. So watch out for the, a little bit more wealth management and stuff like that on that side for Morgan Stanley as opposed to JP Morgan, but $86, 84. This is something to look at for tomorrow. That's why I call the banks up. Like this 85 break here on Morgan Stanley could be something for tomorrow. But again, tomorrow's not really an actionable event until 2 p.m. So, you still got a lot to go. One name that is making new lows here on the day, from what I can see, is going to be Shopify. On the daily looks horrible, but there's Shopify right now. Actually, no, not new lows. We've actually already broke through 31. I wasn't sure about that. There's 31 right now on Shopify. Look at this name. This got downgraded today. So the move really doesn't start to happen until we break those lows again. And this is why you want to find names that have some sort of a support when it's broken. That support was 31.50, went all the way down to 30.80. Now I wouldn't have held it for that long, but that's a pretty decent move back in there for Shopify coming back in. So yeah, a good name to look at if we fade out. It needs to come up to the 200 period, but what about a 31.25 short on Shopify? So if the market rallies, I'll probably get filled short there on Shopify.
Yeah, that's been in trouble. The other name that was that trending down was Chewy, had pretty much an identical looking chart, just under a lot of pressure. AMPX there it looks like I might have missed a chance. I canceled my order now because it's already bounced off of VWAP. It didn't quite get to VWAP, but it got close enough that maybe I should have been into it. Looks like it wants to try to hold up here 11.50 to 12 even. So if that's where it's going to be, I'm going to stick on the bid here in front of 12. In terms of relative strength, clearly it's got it. The volume, like most things at this time, it is starting to slow down. That'll happen when you go into the close. But I'll give this one back to 11.50 if I get the 12s long. Vero, like I said, we already got into. I just got some out of Intel. So as it starts to curl back down, I'm on the bid on the way to the low of the day. Intel is not a stock that's dropping $1 anytime soon. It's only a $29 stock. And you still have not just these lows here at like 28.75, but it did have a wick bottom on Friday, this getting down to about 28.50. So there are some support levels that have already started to come in Intel. And you have to remember, being a stock with a dividend and sort of having that legacy and still actually make money, right? So there are buyers on the way down of a stock like Intel in a way that might be different from, I don't know, say Peloton, let's just say. I don't mean to pick on Peloton. It's just that's at the front of my mind right now with the story about the rowers. Tesla, as the market tries to make a bit of a top here, Tesla broke back VWAP. I did sort of say I'm not chasing it going long at 310. I'd rather buy a dip. Well, here is said dip. I'm looking at this 308.40 where it looks like we made that bit of a bounce. So if we're going to continue the trend up, this could give an entry point sort of right around this 309 area. Risk slightly less than $1 or even better than that if I can get a better price here on Tesla. But I'm not going to hold this all the way to the low of the day, jumping on the bid here in Tesla. Like I want this consolidation long. I want to have relatively tight stops to this long because this market is in a downward trend as far as I'm concerned.
All right, range 30 minutes. I was just wondering here about this Netflix trade here. Breaking back above, I kind of like this trade, man, 244.50. We're getting very, very close. If this market goes, this is another name. We talked about which names were green. I don't know. The Netflix must have not been green, but it's green now, obviously on this little move up here by the NASDAQ. So this name just turned green. There's not many of them that are out there that are green right now, although Tesla just turned green as well. Apple is hella green. We talked about that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we're in. Now we're into Netflix. We actually got 244.60 there. I don't know how that's possible when I see a 57 staring me right in the face, but okay. So we get a 60 right there. It looks like I should have got a 50. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. We won't cry over spilled milk. That bottom, though, for Netflix, just so we have an out. We're long right now. I don't have an out to the upside. Let's just see where this goes, but we got to have an out to the downside. I'm just going to make it as simple as possible. 244. I mean, the 50 period's right there at 244. So let's make it simple and just put our stop. And I got to put this out right now in case it breaks. But 243. You know, a little bit lower than that. And if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, I like the trade. I think there's a good possibility here for this name to continue to go up to the upside. We have VWAP there at 245.50. That's possible. I think we'll take, because it's 50 cents, we'll take a little bit out if it does go 50 cents for us. Probably take out a quarter right there at 245. But right now we are into what is a brand new position for me here in Netflix. We've already, like I said, Netflix is one of the top names on the show here. We already took a $6 winner. I don't think we got $6 in this name again, but let's see if we can get at least a buck up to 246.50. Oh, that'd be $2, 246.50. So that's kind of my target. But if we get VWAP, that's $1, and we'll take that. First out 50 cents, out of it all if it drops below 50 cents. What's up, Brendo?
Just a couple of things, actually. First off, there's a few people who are mentioning this speech by Vladimir Putin, who was supposed to take to the airwaves earlier on this afternoon. They've now come out and said that speech actually never happened or didn't happen yet. It was supposed to be at, I guess, 8 o'clock their time. I'm not sure what the conversion is, but anyways, they're now saying they're not entirely sure when that speech will actually be aired. So there's that. Then second, Ford, guys, on track right now, I saw for its worst day in 11 years. So a huge day for Ford. NCLH as well, just popped back up on volume. Remember, these cruise lines were all up in the pre-market on an upgrade today. This thing's done nothing but go straight back down. But decent level here around this 15 for Norwegian.
Yeah, and look, that's the thing about like the cruise lines and CCL this morning. As much as they got the upgrade and the chart looked good to the upside, the daily chart just told you it can't get past certain levels, and that's why you look for that short. Gonna get some out of Tesla here when it gets back into VWAP. So it just turned green again, so congratulations if you've been riding this train to the upside. However, someone's pointing out it looks like a head and shoulders. Yeah, but it kind of needs to break that support for us to get back down toward those lows. So I have nothing against chart setups. I think they're actually fine because to the extent that everyone's looking at the same kind of thing, they can be very informative and help you give confidence to your trade or your direction. But when you're doing a scalp trade, sometimes that setup where someone that's holding it a little bit longer, or traders that are holding it longer, are into that short and kind of worried as it gets back up toward those highs. That's a little bit of your upside to be able to take that scalp long. If it breaks and holds above VWAP, I want to be getting more out in front of that 310 to be sure. And maybe you meant an inverted head and shoulders. You could be right about that. It does look like that as well, which would give it some juice to the upside. Veru's not really moving, so I don't want to dwell too much on that one. And then MGAM. This is, okay, so it's fine. I wanted to see it consolidate a little bit. It's now made a fresh bottom at that 338, 340 level, starting to go sideways here. So it's finding that support again. This is where I would like to maybe jump into this one, grab it in front of 330. It's easier to have like a tight stop. That way, if it fails back into VWAP, I'm not sitting there holding it. I know I can be wrong for about 10 pennies there, and it's got room to go. So I want to see it just kind of hold the bid here, maybe for a couple of minutes like it was doing earlier, and then we can see if it can shoot back up into the upside. Apple's doing just fine, no issues over there. And AMPX, yeah. And that's still a New York stock. I always think these small caps, so when it's 4 letters, hardwired to think it's going to be a NASDAQ stock. But anyways, it is looking like it is breaking up. So I've canceled my dip buy bid. Not going to end up getting this one. Hopefully we can get that MGAM to the long side. And that one can be our runner that goes. Brendo?
Fair warning on this one. Very, very low volume, but it's halted. So we'll see what happens. Just broke $1 for this SOBR. So SOBR makes alcohol detection systems for cars. The National Transport Administration, or National Transport Safety Administration, just came out and said that they're recommending alcohol detection systems for all cars. So SOBR on watch here, guys.
Okay, I just want to, yeah, that's a good, okay, so now the market's pulling down. I just want to talk about something because I did put out an offer to get out of Netflix at 45 or so just to get out of a piece of it. You know, the market started to move up here just recently, and Netflix didn't do anything. So like that rate there tells me that, hey, maybe this long is not right. So there you go. We'll just punch out a little bit there at 30. I don't even know what I got there. 37, 38, something like that, 36, 35. So we'll take out a little piece right there. We're only taking out 20%. I mean, look, it could still go, but right now, Netflix, like, it just didn't go up. Like, the last couple minutes here, and this is what we watch, right? You watch the tape, you watch these movements. Gonna save myself a little bit of money here, it looks like, because definitely not making the move up. It's coming back down. Like, look, the last couple minutes, the NASDAQ did break higher, and Netflix just stood there and said no. So here it comes, gonna break lower, and we should be now. Hello, Bueller. We should be able to get out of this here as this breaks back lower. So pretty soon, a couple more pennies down, and we're out of this one as Netflix does. There it is. So good. So that's fine. Not good. We don't ever want to lose on a trade, but there goes Netflix back down. And I'm kind of just glad that we're able to get something out there because we did realize it was weak. So yeah, Netflix is not going to be the name to pick on. It is Microsoft. I think this is going to be a good short, but again, it just didn't get to our level. Like that 242.25 didn't come through there. So we will give back a little bit of what we made there on Netflix today. Nothing to put us green on the stock, obviously. I mean, losing 60 cents is not that bad, but still a loss is a loss. Maybe we have to wait for 243, but hey, I didn't like the action that just happened there, so we will take the L on Netflix. And then realistically, Apple just is staying up high, right? And so like, as long as we can try to buy, ooh, that went down there. Okay, should have bought that dip right there, 156.28. But here goes Apple right back. Now I'm going to check back on Netflix. It's probably back up, but still not a super strong name here. Netflix. I feel like I can find better longs than this. Maybe Meta might be the name for the better long. Google, yeah, I mean, oh man, Meta just bounced again off 146. So yeah, man, a couple decent levels there. Maybe we break the 200 period here on Meta and we try to go long. Thing is, like, I don't want to force trades, and we talk about that all the time. I could battle back, which I've done amazingly anyways, I think so today. And now to throw money away because they're trying to force something into the late days of a major event tomorrow might be a little off. So, and there goes Netflix.
Someone just said Mullen?
Again, like Netflix not even moving, it just goes right back upside. So now I'm thinking I want to go long again. Netflix right back to that level. So if you didn't get out where I did, you're now flat on that trade. Mistake it looks like on Netflix there.
So I just tightened my trailing stop. I have two shorts still. I tightened my trailing stop on CCL because the market's trying to go up. I did just miss the dip by the reload on Tesla, I should say, in this little consolidation. It's back above VWAP. I'm not really buying it up here. I'm trying to buy it off these lows and take it into those highs. I won't be reloading Intel with the market trying to get back into the upside. And someone said, look at what Mullen is doing. And I half expected that the stock would be going to the upside. Mullen's at 44 cents.
Yeah.
There's going to be like one of these like YOLO long moments on Mullen at like 20 cents if it goes down there. Like,
yeah, I mean, I thought there might be a YOLO long at 60 cents, but then you had to get out if it broke 50.
Yeah. But like, I'm thinking like 25 cents with a stop at 15 or something like that. It's like if it goes to $1. Like, anyways, I started out as a penny stock trader when I started day trading. So when I see moves like that, I just kind of it piques my interest. Anyways, but Brendo, what's up, bud?
Looks like this note from the NTSB also benefiting these. Both Uber and Lyft just caught a bid there. Lyft back to the upside, but Uber 31.75 taking out some volume. If you missed it, though, the NTSB is saying today they want all new vehicles to check drivers for alcohol use. So SOBR still halted on that, but Uber and Lyft starting to go now.
Wait, like, so they'd have that thing on every single new vehicle? Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. If that will never get it passed.
I can't see that. Look, I'm not saying it's a bad idea because obviously it would save lives, but I don't feel like that would get a pass.
No, it won't. So
yeah,
good story there, but yeah, might be one of those things there. I think it might be more important for like law enforcement, right? Like if you've had issues with that,
oh yeah,
you know, it could be part of your parole or something like that. I don't know. That could be something there. Okay, a weak name here again, name that we haven't talked about a little bit, Amazon. Amazon's coming up to again. It's just a matter of like, where do you think this market is? The market's trying to break higher. I don't even want Netflix, honestly. Now it's ripping back up to the upside again. But here we go. So, you know, Amazon coming right up to these levels right here. This is should be a great short into 122.50. So 122.50 here for Amazon. It's just the market right now is back to, not really. I was going to say it's took out this range, but it's just back into here. So I don't feel like there's too much action. We're right in the middle, man, 11.950. So when the market was down here and it failed to get, remember I said failed to get to 11.8, the next move was 11.9. Well, now we're at 11.950. So maybe Amazon short is something to look at right now into that trade. We did want the Amazon short today, but that 122.50. I mean, we could easily take that out. You're down 2%. If the market keeps going, Amazon is weak today. But that's you know what? I'm sort of talking myself into this trade. 122.37. I can start to build this right now. Why not do that? So let's offer. I mean, in about 10 minutes, I could tell you why not to do it, especially if it's against me. But there it is. We will take a short here at 25. It's right at the 200 period. If it breaks above 50, then we can get out and not too much skin off our back. I said that before. Skin off your teeth. Oh, no, everyone was confused about that.
No, it's skin off your back.
That's what I thought it was too. So there it is. There was. I think there was. Someone was saying there was like an old Jewish saying or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to screw it up again.
Skin off your teeth doesn't make any sense, man. It's skin off your back. It's skin off your back.
I know.
Honestly, like I'm dying on that hill.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I said initially, but
you did.
Okay, good. So that's all good.
Oh no, my YouTube just crashed.
Oh no, that happens all the time. YouTube crashing. We need to get some more RAM in there, right? But not the, and hopefully not the LA Rams. Those guys, you know. Actually, they had actually a decent spot. You see, OBJ is going around like he's in college again. He's going around to like all these different games and dabbing up everybody, trying to get that contract. Yeah, he's not even signed though. Like that's crazy. How does he catch a touchdown in the Super Bowl and then is not signed again this year? That's crazy. Someone will sign.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing about it's like it's not like
he's a head case.
The dude, yeah, but he's not like it's not like he's Antonio Brown ripping his shirt off or anything like that. It's just I get it, but. There are guys that probably have more checkered sort of issues in the locker room than OBJ, who's a great player when he's on the field. Like, he's just so talented. I got out of Tesla. So there was a good comment about every single time this market gets to resistance, it's been pulling back. So when that happens, in the event that happens, it's like cover Tesla, jump right back on the bid in front of that 308.50. Just take the money and run. That's what it's going to be all about. I'm not trying to be diamond hands with some of these scalp trades, and part of it maybe because I'm skeptical we're going to get back to those highs. Thank you so much, Adam, there for the super chat. Starbucks recent daily trend is gorgeous. 4 to 5 consecutive red days, and then we get a big 1 or 2 days, 4% recovery. Yeah, I feel like it was last week that it was those 90s on Starbucks.
Yes, yeah. I had an 86 long, believe it or not. So.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. You got down to 86. It was a 90 break, but it was a day before. Yeah, it was these 2 days here. There you go.
Shit.
It used that 86 long on Starbucks. It got up. It got right into the resistance at 90. The next day, it broke 90 and got to 94. And then you're consolidating off 90 again. I see what you're getting at. Thank you. This is why I love this community, man. Like for 2 days in a row. So Sean had it, and the only reason I was looking at Starbucks 90 the next day, because Sean was trading the afternoon show off 86. I'm like, oh, write down Starbucks. It was strong that day. Market was relatively weak, I think. I wrote down on my iPad, just make sure we have a look at Starbucks the next day. It's set up for a 90 break, and then it jammed to the upside. Now we're right back at that 90 support, and suddenly we have ourselves a trade. So I don't know if we'll see 90 at the bottom. I mean, I'd probably test along down there if we got it again, but it's 326. I guess it's not going to happen. But thank you, A, for the super chat, and B, for reminding me about Starbucks 90, a trade which I'm going to look for tomorrow. We like that long. It's been good to us before.
Yeah, so just quickly here, Microsoft, I mean, this came in out of nowhere. I wasn't even really expecting this. I guess I must have had I mean, I was expecting it. I had an offer up there, so to say that I wasn't expecting it, I guess, is wrong. But there it is. It just came in right now. And again, I just wasn't talking about it. It gave it to us, right? So remember we talked about that Microsoft, that we wanted it right into that level right there. And it was kind of a random one. It was 60 right there. So we actually take that fill at 48. We just get some out here in the mid 30s. But again, it looks like, I don't want to hold this one too much against me in case this market does blow back up to the upside. So I'm going to try to respect that level, 242.65. I mean, if it breaks back higher than that, I'm going to get out. I'm making money on this trade again, so we can do that. if it does rip, I just got to make sure I put my order out. And that's why you often hear Neil and I start talking. Meanwhile, our face or whatever is not looking directly at the camera as we get some of our orders out, because we don't ever want to put on, I mean, I don't ever want to, and Neil doesn't either, put on positions unless we have some sort of an out, right? So the market can definitely move real quick on us as I'm talking about something else. Bang, something happens. So, we want to make sure that we are on the right stocks and on the right levels to get in and out if we do need to. So Microsoft, my out's going to be right there, man. A break of like 60, 65, something like that. We're going to get out on Microsoft, but I'm hoping that the market can fall back down a little bit now as we are in the money on this trade, 15 cents, and now we are flat. So that's how fast, I told Microsoft is crazy how fast this thing can move. But here we go. We got to just monitor this position. We have our outs. And hopefully they can get respected, and the market might be able to fall back down here. I don't think it's going green today, but hey, only 30 more minutes left, and we do have those imbalances coming out.
So Sava chewed up and spit out that 35 level. So unless it fails in the next few seconds, I don't think I'll be shorting that one. It's a little bit late in the day for it as well. But that Sober, yeah, great story. Up now 92%. It opened back up, and it is making fresh highs. Again, I was just kind of looking at this pullback, and I was trying to talk myself into going long a 150 after it's already broken a buck, and I should have just put the trade on and given it to that 150 because you could have had 57 to 60s. I don't know if we'll see those prices again. It's worth noting when you zoom out, if you go back to, this looks like the beginning of August, this is pretty much at the recent high at $1.83. So there's some room if it breaks this to get to 2, get a little bit higher, but it's running into that resistance right now. Like I said, great story, fantastic story there, and a great idea. Like, I understand it's a good one. I'm a little skeptical. And it's not about whether I think it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the reality of something like that getting passed is more, that's all I'm getting at there. And I think that's really important to talk about because we keep politics out of it. Like, as a trader, like, you care about what's the realistic shot that the business has going forward, how realistic is it, and try to keep everything out of there because your personal opinion can kind of cloud things. I'll try a dip buy if I can get those 60s again, but I might have missed my shot, and we are getting late in the session. So if it doesn't give me a reasonable dip to be able to catch this, then I might have to sit this one out because my out's going to be at 150, so I don't want to be straying too far away from it.
All right, we just got a 30 bid on that one, so we'll stop the fail on Microsoft, and hopefully it does fail to back down in a little bit now. And oh yeah, baby, we're doing it right now again for you, and doing it well because it's a big move here. Amazon, we just averaged into that one. Get down into the rest of this market here today. Look at Microsoft, man. I mean, again, I've even just, what's bugging out? Okay, yeah, I'm not bugging out. I'm fine. You can see right now that, again, I've even switched up my mentality like intra-show. I started off, let's go Microsoft right now. Hit that freaking alarm right now. Microsoft is absolutely falling down, as goes Amazon. We just put on Amazon short. We just put on Microsoft short. And look at this Microsoft trade. Jeez, wow. Why did I not hold on? Man, oh man. But there it is in the downside. Wow, 70 cents. We just put this trade on. 75 cents in the money on this one. We just put this one on as well. Amazon all the way down to the downside. So yeah, we have no problem going short. We just talked about that on Amazon, why we like that. There it is right there. Let's go. Hit the WTF. Hit everything. Hit your like button. Let's go. Look at Microsoft. $1 now in the money. Oh, this could have been, oh man, from what went sour on Microsoft. I was complaining about it all day, and then I could have just made every single thing back, but I don't hold. That's fine. Microsoft just dripping down. Wow. Was not expecting that move, man. A pullback right back to the 50 period, and Microsoft says, see you later, market. Good move there. Wow. And Amazon. Holy, this has been a fantastic time right now. Don't know why we hit that. That's the wrong one, but we'll just go, we'll do one of these for Fahad because the belly dancer's in, and man, that guy has a cute kid. Must have got the looks from the mom, I guess, because Fahad just playing around. Good, handsome gentleman there.
Cold.
You'll never see his face.
So you couldn't know.
Yeah,
you wouldn't know.
That's why anyways. I don't want to tease. I mean, he's a handsome individual, but he's got to show that face. You know what I mean? Oh, we had a great.
It'll happen. Yeah.
It'll happen. We have a great short where someone had a Tony mask on. I won't ruin who that was, but come over. Oh, by the way, on our Trader TV Live, if you guys ever want to go to this on our Instagram, you can see right here. This is what I'm talking about. Look at these reels that we have right now. So last week, this has 94,000 views with the Louis Vuitton. And here we go right here. This is a pretty good reel as well. Lucas, no problem. The babyface assassin right here. No problem showing his face. 10,000 views on that one. 7,000 views on this. So make sure that you join me on Instagram, and all of us. Neil's here. Brendo's here. We're all here. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, Luca, by the way. I'm going to call Luca back on the show at some point because he has some hot fire hair right now as well. So.
Yo, Luca, so anyways, I mean, everybody cleaned up for the office party, even though we kind of know it's, you know, it's relatively casual, though it was fantastic and a good party. Yeah, but some of the boys cleaned up pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Luca looking fresh and clean. It was a heck of a lot of fun. It's so good to be able to get back out. It's so good when you can look at the levels, and it's a roller. If you diddle in the middle, all you get is a roller coaster ride. And I know I always have like only volume and VWAP up on the chart. VWAP has been essentially useless for Tesla right now. It's just bouncing back and forth off of VWAP. So it'll go $1 beneath and then $1 above. So the trade has been to completely ignore VWAP, except for an out. Like I'll take half out at VWAP, but you're bouncing off these levels and then taking it back into 310. And if it gets to 310 again, I'm getting out again. Someone just said they like take the money and run. You know, as long as you're not actually taking someone else's money, right? We don't advocate theft. It's more about paying yourself. Now it is getting late in the day. We're about 3:30. The early look on the imbalances, 700 million to the sell side, which fits with the fact that we're down in the market here today, unfortunately. But I would say most of the momentum, and it's not that this is not me saying it, the momentum in the afternoon has been to the upside. So you have to be able to play in both directions. Like I said, I'm not reloading in Intel. I've put a trailing stop on both of my shorts and just looking to bounce some of these longs to the upside. However, if we get another 15 points, we are getting into the next resistance level on the S&P 500 futures. I mean, the NASDAQ, very similar as well. So, you know, pay yourself on the way up is what I mean to be getting at here. You got to be able to respect the fact that this market doesn't want to travel too much higher once it gets to some of these levels. Apple, it's rejecting this 157.25. So if it does it again, I'm going to slap a trail and just get out of it. I thought Apple would be one, as strong as it was, that it would get to the high of the day. But if we reject this 157.25, then I'm going to respect that and get out of this and make sure that we're going back in. I don't think you'll see 155.60. So you're not getting beneath or at VWAP again necessarily on Apple. But that doesn't mean it's going to hit the high of the day either.
No, yeah, I mean, with only 25 minutes left, I mean, we're in a $1.70 winner here for Apple. I mean, you know, some of these bottoms were just fantastic. And thanks for the nice comments in the chat, man. I mean, yeah, we're here to bring the energy, here to show you that, you know, trading can be fun as well as hopefully profitable for a lot of you out there as well. So that's what we're doing right now, and it's been a very, very good show. Oh, we have Tony Knack tomorrow, right, Brendo?
Yep.
At 10:45 from Financial Juice. So if you're a little confused about the Fed, interest rates, things like that, possible effects on the market, what it's going to do to fixed income, what it could possibly do to equity. We have Tony Knack from Financial Juice. So we just reported the number there on the imbalance from those guys as well. And he's going to be coming on tomorrow to talk all about that. So hopefully you guys are able to join us at about 10:45-ish? Yeah, Brendan nodding over there. So that's tomorrow morning. Make sure you join us if you want to know anything about the Fed. Don't listen to those guys behind us on TV or anything. Those guys will just talk whatever they want. We're going to give you the actual good stuff tomorrow at 10:45. So get ready for that. And again, thanks for supporting us. Man, I'm going to look at the likes right now. If it's not at 1.5, then, I mean, there's 945 likes right now. We need... Fahad, Lucas, we need to get that like counter going, man, because like honestly,
I'm going to be 1,000.
It needs to be. Oh, it's going to. I mean, it's going to be 1,500 in probably 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, what was 1,000?
No, I was trying to be the 1,000.
Oh, you were trying to be the 1,000.
But you know,
don't tell me you're trading $1,000 stock, man.
No. You know when you try to like click the right click?
Yeah.
You're like 1,000.
These guys always battle each other for that. Wow, Apple now $2 in the money and going. There's 1.1K. Thank you so much. We used to have graphics up, and I asked Lucas about it, but apparently they're working on there. There's a like that.
No, there was a different one. It came in. No. It came like right in the middle of the screen, and it was like the big red thumb. Like that's what we used to.
What does it say there?
Thumb? I don't know.
Oh, it just said subscribe, and then there's a like.
We need a
there we go. That's 1,000. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. I like that. We used to have that one, and we do have one for 1,500, but we probably have to change that graphic.
There was that weird one where it was like an astronaut moonwalking or something.
I know, but I think it had someone else's head on that, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, that's exactly.
Yeah, we'll have to blow that one out of the water there. We'll just put Prad's head on it. That guy dancing around. I'm glad everyone had a good time last night. Prad's like, oh man, I got home at 11. I was like, 11? I figured that when I was young like him, what is he, 14 or 15, that I would be able to stay out a little bit later than 11 o'clock there, but I don't know if his mom has a curfew on him or not. So shout out to Prad there as we go back up to the upside.
Apparently he's going to get engaged soon, so I heard.
I mean, the guy roasts, I think he roasts you more about your age, but we're the same age. So every single time I hear that, I got to roast that guy right back as well. But yeah, shout out to Prad.
Look, what I love about Prad is like if you're gonna dish it out, you got to be able to take it too, right? So he's a fun guy. He doesn't mind going back and forth, which is cool. You just can't take yourself too seriously when it comes to that kind of ribbing. But he's joking around. He said when he goes to his brother's wedding, he's like, I'm gonna come back married. I'm like, well, maybe not married, but at least engaged, brother. Do you? This market.
No, he said he's not coming back.
Well, everybody else says.
Oh, everybody else says he is.
Okay, I think there's like some side.
I mean, if someone marries Prad, then we really have to think about what's happening in this world at some point. But we'll
Where is? Oh, I think they went to play basketball. Is that where? I don't know where these guys.
I don't know. I mean, if I was a trader, I'd be in front of the desk.
The market's moving here. Actually, no, they didn't play basketball because I see Greg and Brankles over there. But
oh, you mean they're still trading? All right, let's go, guys. Yeah, we're just playing around with Prad for now. So there you go. Nice little move upside of Microsoft now starting to keep going up. We're very. Like I have 10% of this trade, I have 10% of the Amazon trade. Oh, I better get ready here because some of these levels are going to start to break. So Microsoft, there it is. Actually, it's breaking right now. I don't know why it didn't punch me out. Let's just get out, man. I mean, we could just get out of these. That's absolutely no problem. Amazon, so there it is. We'll get out of our last little bit. That short is at 50. That out for our last 10% is at 70. So we do take a little bit of a hit on that last little piece, but the market's blowing up. So, really okay on that trade. All right, now for you, Amazon. That went all the way down. And again, like we take advantage of this. As we're burning Prad and doing this kind of stuff, we're also trading, right? So it's a nice little trade there for Amazon. This one I have a little bit more of about 15% left on this. Again, every time, if I have all these lines on here, they're not just for pretty pictures, although sometimes it looks like that. If we come back down into that 50 period, we're going to get out, right? So first couple outs at VWAP there. The short is at 40. These outs are there at 20. We did take an initial short at 30, then 40. So these outs are at 20, 25, 22. Then these ones are sub 122. So as that came back in, we're able to get some out. I still like the short on Amazon. I just got to find a better level.
So just noticing something here, and I'm on the offer Tesla, getting really close to getting out if it'll tick up higher. And one of the reasons I don't want to hold it when I keep trailing Apple higher is the market continuing to push. We pushed another 10 handles or 5 to 10 handles on the ES. And this is Tesla here. It just does not want to even break the 310. So fresh highs being made in the overall market, and we're not exactly threatening higher in Tesla. So as much as I like the rinse and repeat, it's been pretty good down there. That's a very different story from what you're seeing happen over there in Apple, where it just keeps on going higher. And all I keep doing is trailing stop. It doesn't stop me out. We break out the high. I move a trailing stop back in to about 156.50. Now my trail's at 157. So at some point, if it pulls back, I'm either getting the high of the day on Apple or, well, I mean, it's no guarantee because you could always miss it. Or we're going to get trailed out there. So we'll see what happens. I said I'd get out of CCL on a trail and Intel 2911. Neither one of those has happened, but I'm leaving those stops in to be sure. Veru, unfortunately, it's like I'll look for something and I'm like, it might be able to go. So it doesn't stop out at the bottom, but it's a little bit late in the day. Normally I would reload as it bounces here because it's held my support level, but it's 340. So there's not enough time for this to really go. And as a matter of fact, now that I even see this here, it's like I'm long at 88. It's right here, pretty much at my entry price after holding that stop. I don't know if it's going to go. The volume's died down. So sometimes you accept the fact that the market's booming and this small cap doesn't want to go. So pretty unfortunate there. And then MGAM. It didn't end up holding the consolidation where I would have liked it from previously, so I'm going to back away from this. Above $3 is still pretty good on this stock, but I'll look at tomorrow for this trade. If we can catch it at 3, I like that at $3 if it holds that bid. I'm going to like Starbucks, and shout out to the super chat we got for that. Fantastic, because I'll be looking at the Starbucks bid 90. I wish I had seen it sooner because this would have been something. That chart's terrible with the wick. This would have been something that made a heck of a lot of sense. When you look at the 15-minute, that's a level that stands out. It broke out from 90. It's held support the last couple of days. That's the kind of thing you want to look for. If you're trying to pick bottoms, make sure it's a significant bottom, and maybe in a stock that's been relatively strong. So stock trending up, channeling and trending up, consolidation, breakout level, consolidation after that breakout level, breakout again. So it did it at 82, it did it at 86, it's doing it again at 90. And maybe it does it at 94. You just follow that pattern until it stops working. You don't always have to make things more complicated than they are. Starbucks 90 seems as simple as it gets, and if it breaks it, I'll be wrong tomorrow and get out at that price.
And not wrong on Amazon. Bang! Right there as Amazon comes right back down in. We're 17 cents now in the money. We waited for that average and we got it. So right there, 122.50. We actually got 122.48. Oops, 122.48 right there. We just took it out at 32 right there. Now it's, I mean, whether or not it falls now or not, I'm sitting right here again at 122.21, right in front of these lines here. And again, that's the 200 period, the 50 period. They're now crossing. That's not a death cross or a Sean cross or anything. I have no idea what that is. But we'll wait to see here what happens. Nothing to do with that. Just trying to get out in front of these levels. Obviously, we're $1.80 in the money on Apple. We're now only 11, 13 cents in the money on Amazon, but we already did take out a quarter of that trade right there. So hopefully it'll fall back down and we'll be able to hold this. Again, into the imbalances is a pretty dangerous spot, but we do have our out, so if it takes out that 122.60, I believe anyways, or a little bit higher. I want to make sure I don't have, I guess I can cancel my Apple stop, that's not going to hit. And then just to make sure, what is my price out there? Yeah, 60.65, so that's fine. If it breaks down through 65, we'll get out of Amazon. But right now, so far, so good. I mean, we're in the money 5 cents. It's not like this is a big trade right now, needless to say, but you know, we could fall back down. If the market does fall in here, I think we could test 122 again. And again, just for the risk to reward, we got out of about a quarter of it right there for 15 cents because that's our risk. So right now we're short 43. Our out is breaking through 60. That's 17 cents. So roughly 1-to-1 there on the out. And but again, it was only out of a quarter. We're trying to hold that last little bit in case we do get a flush down here. But wow, the market. And I built the bull case early, and really the NASDAQ is sort of where we opened, right? I mean, we're actually higher than where we opened. So that, I guess that's pretty good. We did a decent job. We opened up right here. You can see where the volume started. So we opened up about 11,920 or so right there. We're at 11,960 right now. So 40 points higher on the NASDAQ than when we started. It's still not a win. We're still hoping for a little bit of a downside push here into the close. I'm net short. The Apple's going to work. I only have 10% of that Apple trade on, and it's $2 in the money, so I'm just going to let that work. I'm more concerned with this Amazon trade.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to get into Tesla off those levels again. Like, it's a little bit too late, but speaking of EVs, Rivian is having... I mean, the market's bouncing right now, you can see. Rivian just broke the low and continued on volume to sort of push lower here. I don't really see anything specific to Rivian, but down 5%. Note that for relative weakness tomorrow. It's also taking out some pretty significant levels once it got beneath that 36.50. That had been on a pretty nice run and now giving it up there. CCL, I have to accept the fact that it is pretty much done for the day. So I'm just going to get out as it gets back above this little consolidation. This is going to be where I have to exit the trade. Like, it looks like this is pretty much, yeah, it looks like it's going to be all you can get. But this rejection of the 11, it's not done. I think when I look at this one tomorrow, if there's a chance to short up at these levels again, it's just going to make all the sense in the world. So just down to Intel, which for whatever reason doesn't want to stop out. It gets really close. And then pretty much no cigar. Like, comes right back up to these levels, doesn't quite break out. My stop's in there and manages to hold resistance. So I'll hold this into the imbalances. If it breaks 10s, I'm out of it. I have a trail on Apple, so if that either gets to the high of the day, which it looks like it wants to, I'm going to get out in front of the high of the day. Otherwise, I just keep moving my trail up. Although, as I say that, we actually do have a trail. Like, I can just set a trailing stop with like a certain, if it pulls back like 30 or 40 cents. I prefer to do a bit of a moving target, like using recent support levels. Again, I'm not a person that's an expert at trailing stops. It's actually something I learned from Arun, and I've been sort of testing out to see if I get better exits. Because quite frankly, using trails isn't the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't like using trails like to that extent. I prefer doing what you're doing, looking back and then picking levels based on what you see on charts. But yeah, trailing stops definitely working out for many traders. We got stopped out on Amazon, and then I foolishly went short again. This is something that I said I didn't want to do, is get caught up in this. But they're not, like right now, I am fine. Like the net is fine, everything's under control. And I just want to see about the short because again, someone said, am I going to trade TQQs into the close? I was debating that because it's a bigger sell number, but like, you know, I don't know what that sell number is going to bring to the market. We've had big sells before, and it really hasn't mean anything, right? And so I'm not super excited one way or the other. Imbalances to me, honestly, that game is pretty much over. I'm not even worried about it. From what I've seen, like we've had big numbers and then it's gone the complete opposite way. So I don't really have faith in those numbers. But again, if you can pick the stock that happens to show up. I remember yesterday, was it Amazon? There was Amazon and Apple into the imbalances. I'm going to say, I mean, I could just look. Why don't I just look? I think they were longs, weren't they, into the imbalance yesterday? So there it is right there. Yeah, so here's the imbalance came out on Amazon, and I believe it was a bid, because look what happens here into the close. Was this yesterday, September 19th? Yeah, so it was a big imbalance buy into the close, right, for Amazon. And you see the action. That was 124.15 bottom when the imbalance came out, and then the close at 4 o'clock, I mean, I guess forget about that wick. The close right there was 70. So, you know, that's a straight upside move of 45 cents or so off those imbalances. So maybe, you know, the way to play it would be thinking that the imbalances are going to go the other way today because it was a 700 million share sell imbalance. So maybe Amazon will print us a little bit lower. I am bidding 40s right now to take 11 or 12 cents on that. So hopefully that'll come through now for Amazon. But there's only now a minute and a half until these imbalances. So it's going to get spicy soon.
I think pay yourself.
Yes, always.
Right. So sometimes if you don't want to get thrown out, you got to make sure you pay yourself. There's a wick top, and if we were earlier in the session, I'd look at a wick top like this on Apple at that high, 157.50, and I would be thinking short this and give it to that top. But wick high, that's also a reason to be able to get out as we are starting to press to the downside here. So I'm now out of Apple. I'll just get on the bid of Intel to try to get flats as I'm at 99s, and I'll just sit in front of 29 even to get out of that. Brendo.
Forbes Russia reporting that the pre-recorded speech from Putin now going to air tomorrow morning. So 8 a.m. Russia time tomorrow is when we'll get those comments.
Right.
All right. There's going to be nothing in those comments because they're pre-recorded. So if there is something in there already, someone would have leaked something disastrous about it. He's just probably not going to say, I have no idea what he's going to say, so whatever.
We'll wait speculating, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's both sides. So we'll wait. We're not going to talk politics here, but let's just hope that the market moves on that. And no matter which way, it'll go one way or the other. So we'll wait to see what Mr. Vladimir Putin has to say tomorrow. But meanwhile, we are now 15 cents. Oh, here comes the imbalances, Neil. Yep. Right now, we are 15 cents in the money on Amazon. And there goes Amazon. Nicely done to the downside. Here's the imbalances right now for you. Let's go. Size right there. Oxy is a big one on the sell side for everybody. Oxy, so Occidental. Warren Buffett's been buying up this name. Oil's $84, so you might want to look at some Oxy right there. We can see what that did to the stock.
Ford's a buy.
Let's just click it. Ford's a buy for $1 million. Yeah, that's an interesting play. There's Oxy to the upside, so it does pull back a little bit. There's Apple with a sell, sending the market down a little bit there. We actually did take advantage of that market move to the downside. We are now 20 cents in the money on Amazon. So nice little move on Amazon. We did respect that top. We got back in. It did take us out. We got back in. And then, just the trading, I could do a couple NFTs today on some of these fills that we have. I feel like I've really learned a lot here today and every day. So thank you for joining us. Every day is going to be a better show. Tomorrow is going to be one of our best shows because, again, we have the Fed coming out. So join me, myself, Neil, and Brendan.
Great song.
Me, Myself, and I by Jim Carrey. Myself, and Irene. I think was a Jim Carrey movie. But join us at 1:45 is what I'm getting at. Yeah. We'll be on a little earlier tomorrow.
Exactly. And it's like, remember, it's not necessarily about the expectation, the number. When Powell takes the podium, sometimes that's where the big move is going to be, right? When he gets up there and answers those questions. This is the ES. Every single time we run into resistance, we keep turning around here. So respect the fact that the market, while trying to be strong going into the close, there's a bit of a sell-off. I just dumped out of Apple, like I said, when I got that wick top. So I was trailing it, and we just said, forget about it. Wick top, through 157.50, and now it does a reversal. Intel, it just got back to 29, so I got out of that one flat, and I'll be done for the day. Kind of sniffing it out on Tesla that when the market kept pressing higher, 310, which was that decent but not great breakout, I want to say, in the morning, hard rejection of 310 this afternoon. It cannot get above that level. So I'm going to have this one fired up for tomorrow. That 310 level is resistance on Tesla. Brendo?
Man, Fahad. Baba, guys, big volume spike here, downside watch. Heads up on some of the Chinese stocks, just looking for these.
All right. Okay, so Baba, so some stocks on watch right now. What's up, Justin? All right, so right here, Amazon. Again, just talking about that, I want to tweet this out actually because like I said, we've got sort of a tale of two tapes right here. Look at Amazon. We are now in the money, 50 cents on this short for Amazon, and all we did was short it into this. Boom, we do have one out. We got right back in. Nice short there on Amazon. And then what I was saying about the tale of two tapes was Apple. Where did you get out? I got out at 40. I think we have similar prices. You maybe got out better if you noticed that.
No, 29, I think.
29's okay, so same idea right there. Yeah. But on that wick top.
Oh, I know, 33.
And again, 33, that's better than 29. A tale of two stories here. Apple just continued its march higher, again, relative strength. And then Amazon, we hit that one on the short. And, you know, I mean, hey, maybe this flushes even more at 55 now. So let's put a bid here on Amazon, even lower, man. Let's put one at 90 and see if we can get that. It's not that much lower, but it's right into here. And then the ultimate out, I mean, maybe 75. We might even be able to get lower than that on Amazon. So, yeah, good into the close here today. Very, very happy with the trading.
I got to hit this, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Rainmaker out here in the chat, all out of sober. Because A, it just made a high and turned around up 171%. And B, when Brendan brought this to us, I want to say it was south of $1.50. It had to be. So it halted, got to 110, opened up. It says it opened at 110, and then shot to the upside. I don't know how much you could actually had that long, obviously, down around 110, but it didn't matter. Just shoot into the upside, find something that's running. I tried Veru, and this is what Veru did. Nothing. It didn't lose, but it didn't win either. Like, it just went sideways. So you want something that moves. The market overall was moving, but that's sober. This is why you keep your ear to the ground. Good story, good breakout. Going to end up closing near those highs of the day. We're going to have to watch out for this one tomorrow. Big volume leader. And Cassava Sciences, people are saying, wow, Sava got all the way to $39. So this making a big power move as well. This has to be on the radar tomorrow if it's going to be testing 50. That 35, pretty monster breakout on the daily for Cassava Sciences. But this is what 40 to 41 looks like. Another big level on the daily. So Sava has to be on the radars as well.
All right, there it is. So you do get a little bit of a bump up there. So we will take a piece out as we get it some at 20 right now. And now nothing to do left, man. We're just going to sit back, relax. Slack is announcing a new collab feature here with Google, tool handled by Google Docs, Microsoft Office, but they've already been bought out, Slack. That's CRM. So Salesforce bought Slack, so they're announcing something right now. CRM back down to 150. That's not great level for Salesforce. That's been pretty beat up as well. Nothing happening on that, but look at Salesforce. Yuck, pretty nasty stock. This is a name again, like this is crap. Like
it's been a tough run.
Yeah,
for
this
that
has
man.
really been a horrible stock. I mean, it was just at 190 a month ago. Now you're at 150. I mean, this is getting absolutely destroyed. You have that news there, Brendo?
Yeah, I was just actually reading about that. It's conveniently called Canvas, which is kind of weird because there's already that Canva website, which apparently does a lot of the same things. So they're just going to target some of the tasks that Google Docs can do already. So again, yeah, it's Slack coming up with their own version, really, of Google Docs, it looks like, called Canvas, guys.
I was saying under my breath I liked 150, but I'm wrong about that. Like the May low was 155, and it's through that. So yeah, like in my head before I called up the chart, in my head I was like, oh, it's at that support. It could bounce off it. No, it's beneath that support and breaking lower. So that chart's pretty much the opposite of what I first thought. Wow, this could be interesting because if you get a down day, you've got an obvious, like 155, you've got an obvious line in the sand that if it's below that price, the stock is under tremendous pressure. And if it breaks out above that price, it can be a spicy one. So I don't want to add too many things to the radar, but Sava's going to be on my radar. Sober, CRM possibly. I don't know if anything really paired off too much there at 355. That's a big event. Oxy is still a sell. Although I feel like Oxy didn't quite move as much as you would anticipate on that 1 million to the imbalance. No, it did. Actually, you know what? When I first looked at it, Oxy had moved 20 cents. It did pull back 40 or 50 cents. So sometimes the trades, the individual names, still only down about 0.5% as it had a big rally into the highs on that sell imbalance. But everything else pretty much paired off. Ford has paired off. I see AT&T, but that's pretty insignificant as well. 3 minutes to go. Certainly the market tried to go, but it ran out of steam. ES is definitely going to close deep in the red, but the real story is going to be tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, just reading some notices and everything on Twitter. Thanks again for all the nice talks, man. I mean, that's kind of what motivates me as well, man. Just to give you guys some good trades and you know, have fun with everybody here on the show. So yeah, so far so good. I mean, we can even review. Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
No, just we got a True Trading Group. Again, always thank you so much for supporting us, guys. They've gifted 50 free memberships. You can see them popping off here. As always, great supporters of the show. Check them out. They got their link. They're going to show up after 4 o'clock. They got their stream. You can see the link up there at the top. But you know, fantastic friends of the program and doing a great job out there. Snatch them up. There's those 50 are going to go by pretty quickly. It's always awesome to see them do that, and always a pretty good show. We love the community. Trading is hard enough. It's harder to do it alone, which we always talk about. We're fortunate not to have to do it, so grow that community out there. And thank you for all the super chats, and as Sean said, the kind words. We do this because we love it, and we'd be here trading anyways, but it's a heck of a lot more fun with you guys around, to be sure. I already saw him out of the corner of my eye, so my peripheral vision isn't going away, so I guess that's a good as I age. Tony is going to be on the bell as he always is. It is Tuesday, and all we have to do is ring the bell. Like one of these days, we actually should get Tony on maybe again and chat with him a bit to get his thoughts on the markets. But with about a minute to go, I don't think there's anything in the way of earnings because we're out of earnings season, so I'm pretty safe in saying there's nothing there. But we have Fed tomorrow, and that's what everyone's concerned about.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one with only a minute left here. Now Amazon is like right back near the bottom again. So that's another banger for you here, brought to you by Trader TV Live. Make sure that you continue to watch it. It's been a awesome day so far today. So hopefully that'll be able to continue forward to tomorrow. I don't see any reason why not. Now Amazon's still pushing down. We're going to have to get out at the close anyways. So we have some bids down there, 122. I mean, if I can just... You know what, I'll cancel that. I was at 121.90. Really, what's the difference? Let's just put a bid out right now. End of the trade. If I get 08s, I don't know, maybe I won't. And there it rips back up. But again, there it is right there. Yes, end the trade right there for a good one with another 40-cent win there on Amazon. So now that's done. And like I said, it was just such a good day for trading today. PayPal monster winners, Netflix $6 winners. I mean, Microsoft, we made some money back at the end. Meta. Just a very good day overall, man, and only 15 seconds left. So, you know, thank you for watching us, and make sure that you join us tomorrow. And here we go, man. The countdown is now on with only 10 seconds left. What a crazy day. The market's only going to be down 1%.
Yes, sir. In 3, 2, and Tony, ring it, buddy.
All right.
Casino
Thank
closed.
you, Tony. Yeah, the casino is now closed for most trading, but of course you can do after hours trading where the casino takes a little bit of a bigger rake because the risk has been extended in the aftermarket. So there's a little analogy there for you. But again, you know, I feel like you never really want to trade in the aftermarket unless there is some sort of a news catalyst or something like that. Neil and
I say that as sober. Shoots up again.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's one of those news catalyst stocks there, SOBR. So congratulations. And thanks to Brendan for breaking that news for us early on SOBR. And if you're able to hit that, then wow, as it's continuing its move, breaking what, $3?
$3.
Yeah, so $3.20 or so now on SOBR. All right, Brendo, we talked a little bit about the markets today, but how did we wind up?
There it is. Yeah, pretty red board, unfortunately, once again, guys, going into what is going to be a huge day tomorrow. I mean, we talked about it on the weekend video. If you saw it back on Sunday, could be possibly the most important week of the year, depending on what happens after 2 o'clock tomorrow. But 1.07 for the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ, both around that 0.8 mark when all was said and done. But yeah, red, top to bottom.
Yeah, I'm going to prefer to just when I log in, I'm just going to look at the sober chart because that one is a good-looking chart to the upside. So why not? 250%. Yep, those are still out there, and it's a good news catalyst there, of course. We'll see if there's any continuation tomorrow. But it's been a fun one. It is only going to be even better tomorrow, Sean.
Yeah, it's going to be great tomorrow. It's only 4:01 right now. The trade of the day is Microsoft, yes, where we learned some lessons. Please make sure you watch that. I think it was very, very valuable. Not only did we learn trading lessons, but we also learned a technology lesson as well.
What not to do next time.
What not to do.
We're not doing,
no, we are not going to be doing that. Well, we'll have to have the glitching thing happen again, I guess. We'll figure it out for tomorrow anyways. It's your trade of the day, and it's right after this. So join us for that. Thanks to Prad. Thanks to Sharif again on the midday show. Obviously, big thanks to Brendan. Mark is still... I mean, this guy's never going to stop. So, they're zooming in on. Yeah, go to the big desk right now.
Put the shot up. No, not that shot.
No, not that shot. The big shot. The one shot VOD. That looks
it's
good.
Weird because
there's
like a delay.
There we go.
My monitor's terrible. I look very red on my monitor. So
yeah, you do. You did look a little bit red there, but that was pretty fun. Anyways, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody again. Fahad, Lucas. We just talked about Mark there. Thanks to Randy in the back, and all of our teams. So let's cut this right now. For everybody here at Trader TV Live, that's Neil, Brendan, I'm Sean, and join us tomorrow at 8:30 when we'll be coming back live and doing this all again. Have a great evening. Ciao, everybody.